keys to the game.
Cool. Legends are the first team to play 3 times at Shields Field.
Oh, gee, you always have those for me.
Well, they were the very first team to play here 2 years ago.
I'm surprised it's only 3. Are you sure it's not 4 times?
Yeah.
Okay.
We played them 19 at home to open the stadium.
Right.
And then we played
You're
them.
not hearing us? Are you plugged into your...
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm seeing the... I think it's going out. He just can't hear you in the headset.
Oh. Where's Parker? He could hear us.
Yeah.
Greg needs to be able to hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But he's got levels.
He's down there on the field. Sean's still with us?
no, he's way down there.
Sean was trying to get a word in with.
Bobby Cox.
Yeah.
And he did, I think.
Okay.
We got it? All right.
You
We
can
got
hear
it?
us?
All right. Excellent.
Awesome.
Good deal. Can you hear us down there, Sean?
We were live there for about 2 seconds.
No worries. Sean?
So you've got the video live, but you got our audio turned off right now. Correct? Okay. So yeah, then Greg, if you just want to, when we go to breaks,
A lot of
I'll
cheerleaders.
toss to break, and then usually we'll just do a 30-second spot, and then you can just count us down like 3, 2, 1 back in. At the end of quarter, we'll do a full minute, and that's that's pretty much it. Shauno, what's he saying here? Just texted. Sean says, may see him before halftime. Air conditioning.
Ah.
Okay. So he might come hang out for a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. What he saying? Do I want to know?
No, that was it.
Oh, shit.
What's up?
Now, just the number, this whole page is all different than my roster.
Yes. Yes, we are.
He's
Father Michael is going to do it when we go on air.
But he's going to do it
From down there.
Yep.
Because I know Father David came in first chance.
Yeah. We got the cell phone hooked in. We're good.
And we'll just remember to answer and turn them up when we're ready for him.
Yes.
us have a good game, a game free of injuries, free of anxiety, just a good time of us being here, blessing us, bless the fans out here as well, that we have a good time, and let us pray for all those in the world who are poor, who are suffering, especially those in Afghanistan right now. And we ask this all in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys, back up to you.
Amen. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Sean. So, Corey, as we look at this matchup, you mentioned the Legends, what they were able to do last week. I think it was a little bit surprising to the rest of the SAC. You were among many who predicted that Snyder would be far and away the superior team in the SAC. And so far through week one, there's some doubts on that. But although it is just 1 week, I think we're going to learn a lot more tonight.
Yeah, no question about it. I think I want a mulligan
Yeah.
on my original statement, although it's tough to tell whether Snyder is very good and Northside rose to the occasion and is quite good as well. I think the thing about Northside is they have elevated their play a little faster than we expected after they graduated Deuce Taylor a year ago.
Right.
They are getting great play at the quarterback position from their junior Brashawn Bassett. 201 passing yards last week and 2 touchdowns against Snyder. And I think that caught a lot of people, myself included, by surprise that they could plug the next man in there after the graduation of Taylor. So, yeah, very impressive, and look forward to watching him this evening.
Well, and his job was to distribute the ball to the playmakers, and those playmakers are aplenty on that north side sideline. We will talk about those weapons here in a few moments. But first, we are going to listen in to the playing of the national anthem here at Shields Field.
Military personnel and civilians killed this past week in Afghanistan. Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of this day. We thank you for the beauty of creation. We pray that you bless these young men on the football field tonight. Bless their families. Bless all of us and protect us from harm. We pray that you lead us all safely to your kingdom, where you are Lord forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please remain standing as Bishop Dwenger Jr., Mia Ankenbrook, leads us with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, that sets the stage beautifully for tonight, Corey. We were talking about some of those weapons for the Legends, and I think you have to start with their wide receivers, right?
There's no question. I think only team in the city who might argue that that Northside is the best receiving core in town could be Bishop Lures.
Right.
But we'll get to them later on in the season. But these guys, Jordan Turner, Rodney Woods, super sophomore Tay Johnson. We'll talk a lot about Tay Johnson as the evening goes on. And then tight end Ryan Collins. I mean, they've got 4 legitimate receivers that could all potentially be all conference at the end of this season. So they are that good.
And also in the backfield, Jonte Lambert taking over for his brother. And they don't seem to miss a beat right there.
No question. 15 carries for 133 yards and a touchdown a week ago. That's nearly 9 yards a carry, and that is some impressive production out of the sophomore running back.
That it is. Well, we're looking forward to this matchup. Bishop Dwenger has won the last 10 meetings between these two teams. That includes 8 in the regular season and 2 in the postseason, but 4 of the last 5 have been decided by 2 scores or less. Is this the year that the Legends can catch up to the Saints? If so, they're going to do it in only the second head coaching game for Ben Johnson Jr., who made his debut last week, and I think pretty good review so far.
No question about it. I mean, they as we mentioned earlier, they had Snyder on the ropes, had them beat, in my opinion, and just at the very end, got beat by a 47-yard field goal. That's tough.
Well, folks, we'd like to let you know our sponsor for tonight, and that, of course, is St. Anne Communities, sponsoring our scoreboard. St. Anne's offers rehab, a nursing facility, memory care, as well as assisted and residential living, and is the only senior living community in Fort Wayne that offers daily mass and sacraments. St. Anne's is proud to support the Saints and the many Fighting Irish from Central Catholic that reside in their facility. So we mentioned the matchup here, Bishop Dwenger having the upper hand as of late. They played twice last year and twice in 2019. So 2 years in a row they've met a pair of times, once in the postseason, once in sectionals. Last year, it was a 27-14 Saints victory at Chambers Field in week 2. And then later on in sectionals, a 20-12 victory right here at Shields Field to earn the Saints the sectional crown. And we are seeing the results of the coin toss down on the field below. The Legends won the toss. They've deferred to the second half, so we will see the Saints offense right from the get-go. Corey, let's talk about some keys to tonight's game.
Well, as we mentioned, Eric, the Saints have their hands full on defense tonight. Usually we can point to one area of a team's offense to stop and win the game, but not the case with the Legends offense. They can throw and run the ball with great balance, making things even more difficult, as we mentioned, arguably the deepest receiving core in the city. And I think the Saints are going to start out by trying to shut down the North's running game. That's where the Saints always start defensively, is to try to stop the run and try to stop that electric Jonte Lambert in the run game. Then, next step is to keep Brashawn Bassett in the pocket. He loves to roll out in the passing game. I expect the Saints to place a big emphasis on coming off the edge with their outside linebackers, try to restrict his ability to roll out. If I'm the Legends, I want to try to slow down KJ Tippmann in the Saints running game and force the Saints quarterback Evan Springer to make some big throws in just his second varsity start. This plays into the hands of Northside, as many of their great receivers are also their defensive backs too, and they like their chances in those matchups against the Dwenger receivers.
All right. You talk about that running game and the Legends wanting to slow down the Dwenger running game. They did not have much luck slowing down the Snyder running game last week. We saw their back, Tyrese Brown, rush for, I believe it was 291 yards.
Yeah, although I will qualify that a little bit by the fact that I think Snyder probably has the best running game in town.
Sure.
In the conference. I mean, they've got some big fellas up front. Starting with the IU commit, Damon Moore, one of the best offensive linemen in the state, and they are big and physical up front, and I think they probably are the best running crew in the city this year. So, we'll give them a little bit of pass on what happened last week. And again, they ran all over them, but Northside still had them beat.
That's right. So we are set to go here at Shields Field. Legends kicking off left to right on the radio dial. And for the Saints, they come out in their blue jerseys, gold numerals, gold pants, and, of course, the gold helmets. The Legends out in their white jerseys, white pants, red numerals, and red helmets. And I think it's safe to say their jerseys are so much easier to read than the Wayne Generals last week.
There is no doubt about that.
Kicking off is Caden Libby Callahan. He had himself a game last week.
Good kicker.
And back deep for the Saints, a trio. It's going to be Steele, Groves, and Henry O'Keefe. And O'Keefe takes it from the 2. through the middle of the field, hit by the first man through and goes down right across the 22-yard line.
Great stick there on special teams from the Northside legend. Looked like number 10 maybe, Taeyong Holly. Nice stick defensively to kind of set the tone right out of the gate on the kickoff team.
So here comes the senior signal caller starting his second game at quarterback for the Saints. Evan Springer went 8 of 13 for 80 yards in the opener, and I think the word that we use the most to describe his performance was efficient.
Yeah, he was absolutely efficient, and that's what the Saints need from him, just to continue to distribute that ball to those playmakers. Don't force anything, just be a distributor.
Here's the first down play. It's going to be a pitch back, sweep to the left side, and here goes Steele across the 30-yard line, wrestled down at the 35 with a flag on the end of the play.
Really nice job of following his blockers. It looked like he didn't have a whole lot of real estate out there, but weaved his way in between a couple of blocks. Now, one of those blocks may not have been legal. We're going to find out right now.
It looked like it might have been a face mask on the end of the play.
And we got a hold.
It's a hold.
Yeah, that's a little bit what I was concerned about on the edge there. I think that's probably why there was so much real estate available for KJ Tippmann.
Yeah, that was Teddy Steele, and he did pick up 12 yards.
Sorry.
But so they will negate a portion of that, and they will put the ball on the 23-yard line.
Yeah, ran that little quick pitch, kind of a pin and pull play, and I think KJ was out in front of Teddy on that. And but now they're going to go back to, looks like 1st and 10 again.
Yep. So the Saints break huddle. Springer out in the shotgun. They'll put 2 receivers out to the wide side, Rocco Sioka and Henry O'Keefe. And 2 backs in the backfield. Springer slings it out behind him. It is a backwards pass. That ball is live, and the Saints fall on it. It is Teddy Steele just having the presence of mind to dive on top of that football. If the Legends had realized it, they might be in the end zone right now.
No kidding. Amazing that they threw the black. I don't understand the backward lateral part of that. There's really no reason for them to throw it that far backward. That it appears to me that the play should be designed to throw it right down the line, if you will, and make sure that's a forward pass in the case that it's incomplete. But not great execution on that one by the Saints, and it puts them back to 2nd and 21.
Yeah, loss of 11 on the play. They're back at their own 11-yard line as they'll spread things out. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the top of your screen. Springer fires it out into the flats. It is caught at the 15-yard line. That is Carter Minix out of the backfield, picks up 3 yards.
Yeah, Carter does a nice job of running a little out route, but even better was Brevon Bassett, junior corner. He came up right away from his defensive back spot and made that stick. So a gain of very little there for the Saints, looking at a big 3rd and long.
Yeah, 3rd and 18 here on their opening series, and they're on their own 15-yard line. So probably a conservative play call upcoming here for the Saints.
You'd think maybe a screen, slip screen, something of that, maybe even a running play. We'll see.
Springer is in the shotgun, barking out signals, does take the snap, fakes the handoff, looks to throw now, fires it to the right side, and it is intercepted at the 18-yard line.
Jordan Turner, one of those wide receivers we talked about earlier, plays also on defense and just turned himself into the receiver on that play. Basically slipped right in front of the Dwenger receiver, and they're going to turn it over without a punt, and Northside is in business at the 19-yard line.
Well, we know what Turner can do when he gets his mitts on the ball, and they're just outfought the receiver for the football, and the Legends are in business. And for Evan Springer, that's really his first mistake as the Saints starting quarterback.
That's good scouting by Northside, because Dwenger likes to run a lot of those out routes, and they just stepped right in front of one.
1st and 10 on the 19. Inside handoff, and not much there for Jonte Lambert.
Yeah, it looked like a loss of 1. Great job by the front 7 of the Saints in there. Gavin Groves and company just kind of swarmed him for a loss of a yard.
Lambert, the 5'11", 190-pound junior running back, for the Legends. They do say he got back to – no, it is a loss of 1. You're right, Corey.
Saints had a sideline warning already, so early on in this contest, the Saints coaches are going to need to back up a little bit there.
Yep. 2nd and 11, man in motion. Bassett takes the snack, hands off again to Lambert, sidesteps one defender and piles his way inside the 20 and finally stops his progress at about the 18-yard line.
They don't do a lot that dazzles you in the running game. That's just a basic inside zone play, but it was very effective a week ago against Snyder. Just a couple of yards on that particular play, bringing up 3rd and 9 now for the Legends.
So likely we will see Bassett go to the air for the first time tonight. Again, he was efficient as well. We talked about Springer last week. How about Bassett going 14 for 18 and a pair of touchdowns in that?
They like to roll him out a lot, so keep an eye on a rollout potentially here.
He's got 2 receivers to the far side, and
it.
they'll hand it off. And Lambert's got some room in front of him, picks up a nice chunk of yardage, but he's going to be down at the 12, 3 yards short. We'll see what they elect to do on 4th and 3.
Interesting. Yeah, they just simply went inside zone, and
looks like they're kicking.
Looks like they're going to kick the – interesting. 3 running plays down there. Never put it in the air.
Normally on 3rd and long, if you run, you're playing for 4 downs. But instead, it's going to be Caden Libby Callahan. He had 3 PATs last week, knocked through a 35-yard field goal, 2 touchbacks, and a 55-yard punt. Filling up the stat sheet. This time he'll be kicking from the 19-yard line, a 29-yard attempt. Kick is up. It looked like it might have been deflected, and it falls short of the crossbars. No good.
Saints could not ask for a better outcome than that after turning it over inside their own 20.
Yeah.
They escape with no points.
Big break there for the Saints, and they will take it over. So, I think the happiest man in the stadium right now is Evan Springer.
No question about it. And, you know, the Saints got to get back to the running game, get some rhythm going here. They got behind the chains there on the last series, and I would expect them to try to come out and establish some run right here.
Right. Well, run, run, run. That was the theme last week to the tune of 5 rushing touchdowns. KJ Tittman led the charge with 108 rush yards and a pair of scores, and it's KJ in the backfield behind Evan Springer. 1st and 10 from the 20. KJ takes the ball, runs around the left side. He's got the edge across the 30-yard line, pushes one defender down, and is up near the 35-yard line. That is a 1st down run for KJ Tittman on his first touch of the game.
Yeah, good run by KJ. Just went good blocking up front, quite frankly. Went a little inside zone left, and he was able to bounce it outside and pick up that 1st down.
KJ picks up where he left off last week, 14 yards on the 1st down run, and the Saints move the chains. 1st and 10 from the 34. Springer in the shotgun, takes a snap. It's KJ again, following his blockers, puts his head down across the 40-yard line and near another Saints 1st down.
Hard run right there by KJ. Tittman lowered his shoulder and ran over a couple of Legends on his way for 9 yards.
Yep, they'll mark him 1 yard short.
And they're going no huddle.
Right.
Keeping the pressure on the defense.
Exactly. This is what we saw early on against Wayne last week, and it was effective. KJ Tittman flanking Springer in the shotgun, and broken play. Springer's going to have to tuck it and run, and the ball is out. Did they rule him down or not? The ball is loose, and down the near sideline go the Legends. Rodney Woods takes it to the house, and I believe that's going to stand.
It is. Ball came out of there late. It was questionable as to whether the knee was down or not. And doesn't matter now. No instant replay in high school football. So that is a touchdown return on the fumble by the Legends. And that was Rodney Woods on the return, number 5.
Well, forget the knee, Corey. I thought his butt was down, too.
Yeah, that's a dubious beginning for Evan Springer's home debut.
Yeah. Tosses an interception and loses a fumble that's picked up and returned for a touchdown. Here is the PAT attempt for Libby Callahan. He boots it, and it looks like it is wide. It goes wide right, no good. but there is a flag on the field.
We may have another sideline infraction.
Looks like it might be.
Yep.
And it is. So
That one will be marked off.
Yep, they'll
No
mark it
longer
off
a
on the
warning.
kick. So your score with 6:42 to go in the opening quarter, Northside 6 and Dwenger 0. We'll step aside. You are watching BD Football on BD Media Productions. Welcome back to Shields Field, and the Dwenger faithful silenced here early on after Northside picked up a fumble, a called fumble, and returned it for a touchdown down the near sideline. 6-0 Legends here in the first quarter.
Yeah, taking advantage of their opportunities are the Legends, no question about it so far. And you know that the Saints' offense has got to get on track. You know, obviously it was questionable as to whether it was a fumble or not, but there was no question that that was a broken play.
Yeah.
And, you know, they did not get the handoff right. It was supposed to go to K.J. Tippmann again on another inside zone. And miscommunication between he and quarterback Evan Springer never got the handoff done. Evan had to turn it up and run, and the ball came out.
Yeah, that's a great point, Corey. I mean, the only reason Springer was running with the ball in the first place was because he missed the handoff. There was miscommunication on who lines up where, and 6 points later, here we are. Kickoff is in the air, and it's going to be O'Keefe grabbing it from just out of the end zone. He's got some blockers, takes it through the middle of the field, and here goes O'Keefe with his speed. On the right side, he's got one man to beat, and it looks like he's in a foot race down the sideline, pushed down at maybe the one. Where do they mark him? Down at the 1.5-yard line.
Yeah, it was a great return. You could see it right away at about the 20-yard line, right after he caught it and turned it up. There was just a hole there.
Yeah.
And he hit that hole. Couldn't quite take it the distance. I mean, that would have been a 99-yarder. I think he caught it on the one.
Yeah,
and,
inside the one.
And then got knocked out at the one. So he went 98, couldn't get the 99th yard.
He was dangerously close to a touchback. I'm just going to
Yes,
say that.
yes.
Because he was pushed down, lost the football, and luckily they said his knee was down because that ball went out the back of the end zone. So, heck of a play by O'Keefe on the return. Sets up the Saints with a 1st and goal, and they'll mark him at the 1. Still waiting to put the ball down. There it is, at the 1-yard line. So Springer's going to be under center.
Aziz Dixon as the I-back.
Yep. Here's the snap. Dixon takes it. Falling forward, he is in for a touchdown.
Really, really good job of taking advantage of that opportunity. One play and they score.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody can forget the mistakes of the last 4 or 5 minutes of this game.
Right.
Because they got an opportunity to go ahead right here.
Wow. So 6-6. Here come the Saints for the PAT. And it's going to be a fake. Direct snap to K.J. Tippmann looking for the corner. I don't think he got in.
I don't think so either. We're
He
6
did not.
all. Yeah, they went swinging gate and the pitch toss out wide. Obviously, they thought they had numbers on the edge, and credit Northside for coming in there, making the stick, and keeping him out of the end zone.
That is a tough pill to swallow, Corey. I understand that when you're down one, but when it's 6-6 and all you have to do is kick the PAT to get the advantage, you would have thought conventional wisdom says take the one.
A lot of time left in the game.
Yeah.
Clearly, they think there are going to be a lot of points scored tonight. They're not worried about chasing a point right now, I don't think. So
I think you're right. Let's check in with Sean McBride down on the sideline. Sean, what do you have for us?
Well, I tell you what, guys, what an electric atmosphere to start this opening game here at Shields Field. And we've got a battle on our hands. It's about 89 degrees down here on the field, light wind, but a lot of action out on the gridiron, and it might be a tough one to keep up. This one may come down to conditioning tonight, guys. Back up to you.
That's a great point from Sean in the sense that Northside has a lot of players that go both ways, that play both offense and defense.
Right.
And, I mean, that could certainly, with this heat, you will see that show up in the third and fourth quarter potentially.
Yep, we appreciate that report from Sean on the sideline. Back up to us in the air conditioning booth.
Yeah, it's a balmy 70 degrees in here, and we're doing just fine.
Well, folks, your first quarter sponsor tonight, Illumination Solutions Incorporated, a locally owned family business that creates exterior lighting upgrades for homes and businesses throughout Northeast Indiana and Northwest Ohio. Learn more about this proud Dwenger family-run business by visiting their website, www.illuminationsolutions.com. Belanda kicks this one high to the 21-yard line, and the return making a couple men miss and then falling forward to the 34-yard line. That looked like Lambert on the return.
Saints went with a little pooch kick there, but the Legends have so many weapons that even their second line, not their deep returners, but their next line up on their return team still has Jonte Lambert on it. So you got to be careful where you kick the ball. They've got a lot of weapons.
Well, here we are. It's 6-6 with 6:18 left in the opening quarter. And with all the offensive firepower on both sides of the football, the two biggest plays have been by the north side defense and the Bishop Dwenger special teams.
No
Go
question.
figure.
We have not called Tay Johnson's name yet. I would expect that Northside will get to him soon.
Here's Bassett on the snap. It's another handoff and hit immediately. How about Jack Tittman from the edge getting in the backfield and blowing that one up?
Came in from his defensive tackle position. Northside tried to run a little, look like, I think, almost a sort of a counter tray type of situation there. They had two linemen pulling, and Jack came from the backside defensive tackle spot and chased it down.
Jack was there just a split second after the ball was in Lambert's hands. That one could have easily been a fumble. Instead, it goes down as a loss of 4. So 2nd and 14 for Northside from the 25-yard line. Bassett takes the snap, looks to throw, fires this one down the sideline, and he's got a man open, and it is just a hair overthrown, looking for his intended man, Jordan Turner.
Jordan Turner had a step or two on Dwenger corner Sam Campbell there. And, if the ball was just slightly underthrown from where it was, that would have been another 6 points for the Legends. He had Sam beat.
And pretty good-looking ball from Bassett. That was right on target. It looked like maybe Jordan could have made a play on it if he would have seen exactly where the ball was. 3rd and 14 for the Legends. Saints defense has been up to the challenge so far tonight against this high-powered Legends offense. Here's Bassett looking to throw. He's got pressure, steps up in the pocket, will not escape, and he goes down at the 24-yard line for a loss of 2.
31 Cole Carey on the sack. And but there was a lot of pressure up front from the Saints D-line and linebackers, and made Bassett come off of his spot in the pocket and step up in the pocket and just was unable to find an open receiver before he was taken down.
Well, so far for the Legends, 2 offensive possessions and not a single first down yielded by the Saints defense.
Yeah, they continue to pick up right where they left off a week ago to the Saints defensively, and just a stingy unit up front.
Yeah, and that's one of those scores last week. If you weren't at the game or you didn't watch it, as we have a flag on the field, you might have been a little bit misled by the Saints allowing 27 points. But make no mistake, the starting defense only gave up 1 touchdown, and that was on a play that they had given the ball to the Generals at the 5-yard line.
Yep, no question about it. They have been better than advertised, I would say, so far this season. Yeah. And that penalty was delay a game, so they'll back up another 5 before getting the punt off here.
Here's the snap. The punt is away, but it just goes straight up in the air and out of bounds. That's going to be about the 30. Let's see where they mark it.
I think number 30, Adam Lee, was able to get a little deflection on that as they came in there to put the block on. And now the Saints are in business again, going to start from about the 30-yard line.
Yep, they'll mark it right at the 30, so that goes down as an 11-yard punt. So the Saints offense back on the field. Evan Springer right now thanking Henry O'Keefe and his defense so far in this one. He's coughed up the ball twice in this first quarter, but still finds his Saints in a tie ball game 6-6. 4:37 to go in the opening stanza. Trips to the far side of the field for Springer. He's going to roll and look in that direction. Fires into traffic. It is caught. And that is O'Keefe wrestled down at the 22-yard line for a pickup of 8 yards.
A little flat route, a little out route, and Springer off the play action does a little semi-roll to the right and finds O'Keefe. I would say we're getting in territory where keep an eye on 86. We haven't called Rocco Sioka's name thus far yet tonight, and I would anticipate the Saints are going to change that here momentarily.
Yep, the play calling has been fairly conservative for Springer so far. We have not seen him throw up a jump ball for Sioka yet. KJ with all the room in the world to run, and with a full head of steam, he picks up another 8-yard chunk inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, most importantly, picks up that first down to move the chains down there, and going to look at 1st and 10 from about the 14.5, it appears.
So the Saints in business here. Yeah, we talked before the game, Corey. This is a game that we're going to find out a lot about both sides, both the Legends and the Saints. And here is Springer handing it off to KJ Tittman. This time, not much room to run. Brought down by big number 77, I believe.
I think
that was 71.
Terrell Coleman, 6'3", 304 in the middle of that Legend defense. I think he's playing nose guard, and he's a load.
Yes, he is. And we have a timeout on the Legends sideline. We will step aside as well. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
St. Anne Communities is a senior living community including a rehabilitation center, memory and dementia care, assisted and residential living, as well as a nursing facility that served the community for over 54 years. While offering a Christ-centered environment that is the only place in Fort Wayne that offers daily mass and sacraments. For more information on employment, senior living, or to make a gift to support the first floor renovation campaign, please visit us at our website or give us a call.
We are back at Shields Field. We mentioned in the open some special guests in the house. The Indianapolis host committee of the college football playoffs is visiting Bishop Dwenger High School tonight. It's part of the Indiana Tailgate Tour, visiting 18 high school games across the Hoosier State this fall and recognizing the teachers of both participating schools, as well as promoting the national championship weekend in Indianapolis in January of 2022. The host committee before the game presented both sides with a $1,500 reward for each participating school, $1,000 going towards the teachers and classroom development, and $500 to support the athletic department. And we saw both principals accept those from one of the board members, Bobby Cox, former commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and our halftime guest tonight. So stay tuned for that. 2nd and 9 for the Saints. Springer's going to roll to his left this time, fires it into the end zone. Sioka is there, can't quite come down to the catch. But Corey, you were on the same wavelength there looking for big 86.
Yep, they absolutely, particularly down here in the end zone, you look for your 6'5" guy. I mean, I'm not that smart, so it's pretty simple to figure that part out. But great job defensively there. Number 5, Rodney Woods was on the coverage and helped a little bit by his free safety. I'm trying to figure out that number. Looks like maybe 10 there. Taeyong Holly back there. No, 11, I'm sorry. That's Michael Dye. Good job of bracket coverage over Sioka there.
So now a big 3rd and 9 for the Saints. They are within Belanda's field goal range, but they'd love to pick one up here Springer's got some pressure. Screen across the middle. KJ's got it. Around the right sideline. He's going to walk into the end zone, but we do have a flag on the field.
Yeah, I'm afraid that one's coming back more than likely. Yeah, we got a hold, which is, the cardinal. You want to talk about? I get so excited about this. I can't get my words out, but you want to talk about an offensive line coach's worst nightmare, to get a holding penalty on a play that you're effectively letting the defensive lineman go.
Right.
It's a screen pass. So our offensive line coach won't be happy about that one.
So that's going to back the Saints up all the way to the 26-yard line, and still a third down. Again, your score 6-6 here with 3:13 to go in the opening quarter.
Really like the play call there on the slip screen to the running back, but obviously can't hold in the process.
Right. It was the perfect play call, and the Saints otherwise, beyond that hold, ran it to perfection. So we'll see what they dial up here on a 3rd and 22. And at this point, maybe you're just looking to pick up half the yardage and put yourself in field goal range. We'll see what they do.
Saints look a little confused offensively. They're going to take a timeout and talk about it.
Big third down coming up. We will step aside. You are watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Evans Toyota is locally owned and proudly supports Bishop Dwenger. Let's go Saints!
Welcome back, folks. Shields Field, your score 6-6. Bishop Dwenger and Northside locked up in a tie game right now with 3:13 to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, big play here, obviously. 3rd and long, 3rd and 22 for the Saints. Want to make sure they got the play call right. My thought process here, if I was the offensive coordinator, is, I would try to run something more than likely to pick up maybe half the yardage or so to get our field goal kicker in a little bit better position. The odds of you scoring a touchdown or getting a first down from 3rd and 22 are pretty slim typically. So, you want to put your field goal kicker in better position here, maybe even run the football, pick up 10, 15 yards and give that kicker a little bit easier shot at making it.
Yeah, ball's on the 26. And trips to the top of your screen. Springer picks up the snap off his turf, tosses it down the sideline to Sioka, and lays out, watches the ball go through his fingertips, incomplete.
And they do just the opposite. They take a shot at the end zone, and but there is a penalty. We got procedure on the Saints. I presume that'll probably be declined, or did they blow it dead?
Yeah, if it's a false start, then they probably blew the play dead.
Yeah, they must have
blown the play dead. Right.
I was going to say, because there's no way that the Legends would take the penalty in that case.
Right, especially since Sioka got single coverage down the sideline. So the Saints still with 3 receivers to the top of your screen, and Springer with KJ Tittman beside him in the backfield.
Still one-on-one out here with Sioka as well.
Takes a snap,
That's
same
where
play.
They're going.
Sioka this time trying to get the ball, and again does not get it, but a flag on the play.
They're going to call Rodney Woods on pass interference, and that's a really tough call.
Yeah.
If I'm the defensive backs coach for the Legends, I'm not altogether happy about that. That looked like tight coverage. It looked like pretty good coverage from up here, and that's a tough call.
Well, I think there was some contact, minimal contact, but it also looked like the defender had his head around. Both were trying to make a play for the ball, and I think that's the key.
Absolutely. And, obviously I recognize that I'm on the BDHS Media Productions, but
we can still call it fair.
If I'm being real,
yeah,
that's a tough call if you're Northside.
Yeah, so it will be a 15-yard penalty, not an automatic first down, as you see in the NFL. So instead of a 3rd and 27, a 3rd and 12, after the penalty yardage. But if nothing else, they've accomplished the goal that we talked about originally, picking up half the yardage to get in field goal range. Now at the 16-yard line, Springer once again looks outside, looking for O'Keefe this time, but a flag. And it's going to be a false start on the Saints. How many times can they play this third down?
No kidding. And that's a shame. They just get themselves back in a reasonable yardage situation, and at third and 12, and now they're back to 3rd and 17 again. So, shooting themselves in the foot a bit here.
Yeah. Well, Evan Springer yet to throw his first varsity touchdown. So he's had a couple cracks at it here, unable to connect so far.
They split Henry O'Keefe out really wide last time and came in with a slant route.
Yeah.
He's wide again. Can't imagine they'd run the same thing again, but we'll see.
Well, they went to Sioka twice in a row. It looked like the snow in and out pattern. O'Keefe trying to get away from the defense, and that ball sails out of bounds on Springer.
Yeah, they went with the old sluggo, as it's called, the slant and go there after they had run the slant on the last play. I don't have a problem with that play call. I actually kind of like it. Once you've shown that when you were running the slant,
right,
they went double move off of it, but just unable to connect.
So they will send Joe Belanda out there to try to boot this one through. Ball on the 21-yard line, and they'll set this one at the 28. So a 38-yard field goal for Belanda. We have seen him hit from beyond this range before. Senior place kicker and 3-year starter for the Saints. Snap is down. Kick is up. It is long enough, and it is good. Belanda connects from 38 yards, and the Saints go on top 9-6 with 2:53 to go in the opening quarter.
Great to have a senior field goal kicker, isn't it? And,
it is.
Belanda came through there. He's been through a lot. I think he's been a 3-year starter for him. So he's not many kicks he hasn't seen, and came through for the Saints right there.
Able to connect and put the Saints on top 9-6. Another one of those special teams weapons. We talk about it ad nauseum here, but when you've got a strong field goal kicker, you've got a strong punter, and of course the unit, Dwanger gets after the kick to try to block punts better than anyone.
No question, and as the Legends return team runs out on the field, we're noticing, and we've noticeably absent throughout our commentary thus far, has been number 3, Tay Johnson.
Yeah.
We're hearing from those in the press box potentially that he's out tonight, could be quarantined, something of that nature. So with the Legends are without arguably their most electric athlete, which probably going to make things a little more difficult for them this evening.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't say enough about the super sophomore Johnson. I mean, it was last year in week 2 when the Saints played him that in his second high school game ever, at second game as a freshman, he just absolutely lit up the Saints and made a name for himself.
I'm not big into recruiting rankings, but I've seen a couple of publications that have him as the best sophomore football player in the state of Indiana.
That's amazing. Belanda sends this one back into the end zone for a touchback. As we talked about him as a weapon kicking field goals, how about sending the ball into the end zone as well?
I'll tell you what, as a defensive coordinator, there is nothing you enjoy better than a touchback. Making that opponent go 80 yards is a big deal, and that's a weapon if you've got a guy who can do that.
Amen to that. So here come the Legends on offense. Their third possession, again, yet to register a first down. We'll see if Brayshawn Bassett can get the passing game going. Again, still without Tate Johnson, but you still have a couple of weapons in Jordan Turner and Rodney Woods, along with the tight end you mentioned, Ryan Collins.
Yeah, they have plenty of weapons. Just a matter of getting their offense rolling a little bit.
Well, speaking of rolling, Bassett rolls to his right, fires it at the last second, and a huge collision at the 33-yard line. That one goes incomplete, and Adam Lee absolutely lit up the receiver.
No question about it. And receiver was coming back inside as Adam Lee was coming outside. And quarterback really just kind of led him right into the defender, unfortunately, there. And his helmet flew off. I think the pads maybe inside his helmet flew out.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a major collision. Nothing dirty about it. I mean, no flags on the play, but just a really hard legal football hit.
Well, we saw a similar play last week at Wayne, and I believe that was Adam Lee on that hit as well. I don't remember for sure.
Yeah, he will stick you.
Yeah.
And he did there on that particular play. The young man seems to be moving. That's good to see. And hopefully he can pop up and play some more. Can't get a number.
Yeah.
Can't tell exactly who that is on the sideline there, but.
Yeah, we'll take a timeout as they continue to check on the Legends receiver. You're listening and watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
You know, there's three kinds of people in this world: those that get the numbers and those that don't. If you need professional help when it comes to the numbers, whether it's payroll, accounting, or professional or personal taxes, come see the experts at Management and Tax Services. Proud to be Dwenger supporters for over 60 years.
Yeah. Hey, Sean O, we're in break.
Hey, I can't monitor you guys, so I can't listen.
Turn it back on. We are back at Shields Field. Good sign for Legends fans. The player is sitting up. It is Jordan Turner, the wide receiver, and it looks like they're going to help him up onto his feet. So great to see that.
What'd you see down there, Sean?
Yeah, I got to tell you guys, it was, as you saw up there very clearly, not only from our perspective were we looking at the big hit on the quarterback as he released the ball, but instantaneously afterwards, it was a smash, grab, bang, quick pop hit, and so grateful to see him up walking off the field under his power, because down here on the sidelines, there was a gasp. That was one heck of a hit for the ages. And again, just so glad to see him walking off the field under his own power. Back up to you.
No doubt about it. We are all pleased to see that, and hopefully he'll be able to return to this football game as well. He's a big part of what they do on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. Big senior leader for them. Had 4 catches for 102 yards and a score last week. So here is a new play. Bassett is going to get swallowed up in the backfield on 2nd and 10. And it's going to be a 3rd and long for Northside.
Fake to Jonte Lambert on that one, and then Bassett kept it. And nowhere to go. The Saints front 7 is just smothering right now.
So a 3rd and 11 as the Legends still have yet to register a first down on offense. The Saints defense is all over the backfield. That's something they did last week as well, to the tune of 19.5 tackles for loss in the win. Just an outstanding number for a defense to have. Gavin Groves had 5 all by himself. Here is the play. Bassett rolls to his left, fires to the sideline, has a man, and it's caught by Woods, but he's going to be about 6 yards short of the marker.
Yeah, nice little rollout throw there, but you really need to try to pick up a first down and not just take the 5 yards. So, play call a little suspect on that. Saints defense, we've been talking about them. They're back to full strength. They've got their free safety back, number 12, senior Colin Vance, who didn't play a week ago, back in the secondary, which allows Cole Carey to move up to outside linebacker. So you got Carey and Groves there. Oh my, the Legends are going for it here on 4th and 5, it appears.
Offense on the field. Here's the snap.
They're going to call a timeout.
Okay. So they'll take a timeout. Johnson calls the timeout just before the snap came. That nearly happened. So instead, Coach Johnson and crew will talk about that decision. So we'll take a timeout. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Tippmann Group is a family-owned business that's proud to call Fort Wayne home. We build cold storage facilities all around the United States, run one of the largest cold storage companies in the nation, and lease office space in Fort Wayne, like inside the Lincoln Tower.
Hi, I'm John Tippmann, president of Tippmann Group, and our family has been part of the Bishop Dwenger family for many years. We are a proud supporter of Dwenger Athletics. Go Saints.
Back to the action here at Shields Field, 4th and 5, and this time the Legends come out in a punting formation. I don't know if they were trying to just scare the Saints or what.
I'm not sure whether they I hate to speculate, but it appeared to me on the sidelines that they weren't real sure it was 4th down.
Yeah. Here is the punt. Henry O'Keefe back to get it. It is going to find its way to him. They'll pick it up at the 37-yard line and around the left side. Finds the edge inside the 40, 35, 30, steps out of bounds. There is a flag, and it might be a block in the back by the Saints.
Yeah, they're going to call Gavin Groves in the middle of the field. It appeared to me that couldn't exactly get a feel for what happened there, but the flag was clearly thrown at his feet.
So that'll march it back for the Saints, but in the meantime, we have seen Henry O'Keefe with electric returns 2 times in a row here. So the Saints offense back out on the field. And with 1:38 to go in the opening quarter, they hold a 9-6 lead. We'll see if they can add to it.
It almost seemed as if Henry lured the lured those guys in and then ran around the edge. He's got the speed to do that.
I don't think he was intending on returning that one, but when the ball bounced right to him, he had no other choice. They'll come out with 3 wide receivers at the top of your screen. Here is Springer. Looks in that direction, slings it out to Teddy Steele, and tries to cut that one up and does not get anywhere. Loss of 2 on the play.
As a former offensive coordinator, I don't love that
another
play.
backwards pass.
We're throwing that thing backwards, and that is very, very dangerous.
In fact, does that even go down as a pass?
Well, that's a great point. It's really not.
I think it's
on the stat
run.
sheet.
So they'll switch sides for the trips now to the near side, and then they'll hand it off to Teddy Steele and pick up a 4, but it's still going to be 3rd and 8.
Just a little inside zone play to Teddy there, and he's a nice little change of pace back from KJ. He's got a little more speed and quickness there.
Yeah.
KJ's sort of your power guy, even though he doesn't lack speed, but Teddy's got an extra gear.
We are inside 40 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. 3rd and 8 for Evan Springer and company. Stands in the shotgun with 2 receivers to the near side. He's going to roll in that direction. Looking to throw. Pressure is coming. Just gets rid of the football, and it sails safely over the head of Henry O'Keefe and out of bounds.
Really good job by the Legends on the edge. Their defenders, number 24, Torrey Harmeyer in particular, senior linebacker, came off the edge and sort of lit Mr. Springer up right as he got rid of the football there. So bringing up a 4th and about 7 or 8, and it looks like the offense is staying on the field.
Yep, they've got the ball on the Legends side of the field at the 43, but I tell you what.
This might be the territory for a little pooch punt.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Springer just trying to walk that one off, and he'll take a few steps back. Here is the pooch punt, and it's going to fall down at the 10-yard line, bouncing at the 2, and just does get into the end zone. Very close to being saved by Henry O'Keefe.
Yeah, that's a shame because it turns out to be about a 24-yard net punt there. So
yeah.
I don't mind the call. I actually kind of like the pooch punt. It keeps the Legends from being able to put a return on.
Right.
But execution needs a little work.
So 16 seconds left in the first quarter, and the Legends get another crack at this.
Can't believe we're still in the first quarter.
I know. We've had a lot of clock stoppages, penalties, and of course when you have turnovers and change of possessions, this is what you get. So what could very well be the final play of the opening quarter. Bassett's going to be in the shotgun. Handed off to Lambert, looking around the near side. And strung out shoestring tackle there by Colin Vance. Welcome back to the field, Mr. Vance.
No kidding. He ran the alley really well there from his free safety spot up to make that stick on the edge and hold Jonte Lambert to just a 2-yard gain. That's what you love to see from your free safety.
That's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. Your score after one, Bishop Dwenger 9 and Northside 6. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
You see them everywhere. That Preferred Auto bumper sticker. All makes and models.
Yeah, we did.
You ever wonder why? It's simple. We've worked hard over the last 30 plus years to earn your trust.
And with all the unknowns right now in the auto industry, we're still confident in one thing. With over $6 million in inventory, I'm sure we have the perfect vehicle for you.
So stop by any of our 3 convenient locations and see what sets us apart from the rest.
Preferred Auto.
And welcome back to Shields Field, getting set to go for quarter number 2. And our second quarter sponsor is Evans Toyota, located at the corner of Lima and Coliseum and online at evanstoyota.com. Evans Toyota is a proud supporter of the SAC and Bishop Dwenger High School. See Chad Vogelweed for a Toyotally excellent buying experience.
Love that line. Toyota.
There it is. So back with quarter number 2, and so far in this game, we have seen the Legends absolutely get stymied on offense time and time and time again. And their only points coming on that fumble recovery return for touchdown on the broken play by Evan Springer.
Yeah, the front 7 of that Dwenger defense has just been stifling so far. They have gotten the Legends have put nothing together offensively against them and just can't seem to make any headway whatsoever in the run or the passing game. So, we'll keep an eye on that. But, at this point, they're lucky to have 6 points on the board.
Yeah. I will say this. I think the play of the game was that O'Keefe kickoff return, because you had a Saints team, a lot of guys starting for the first time and finding themselves trailing for the first time this season. How do they react? Henry O'Keefe, one play sets him up for a game-tying touchdown, and it has been all Saints since then. Here is the second down play. Lambert through the middle, and his best run of the night gets him close to a Legend first down at the 28.
By far their best run of the night. It only picked up 5-6 yards, but there was a hole there this time in that inside zone play, and he was able to scamper through there and give them 3rd and short.
3rd and 2 for the Legends. They need the 30-yard line for a first down. Now, we've seen Bassett able to run with the football as well. He converted what was the go-ahead 2-point conversion last week against Snyder. And this time it's going to be a sweep, and it's going to be good for a first down. Nice pickup across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
That's junior number 11, Michael Dye, on the carry there. 5'10", 160-pound junior. Nice job on that jet sweep, and that's a nice call. That's a nice job by the Northside offensive coordinator, just mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and with the weapons we know with Tay Johnson out, Dwenger is trying to key in on the other receivers, and there's a name, Michael Dye, who they were not concentrating on. He makes them pay. 1st and 10 Legends as they finally convert. Bassett rolls to the right side. He's going to tuck this one and run, and nice pursuit there limits that to about a 2-yard gain.
Really good job by Mitchell Vogelweed, number 25. Does a nice job of Bassett had the edge, but was only able to pick up about 2-3 yards there on, looks like a long maybe 3 yards. So nice job defensively. Came from his middle linebacker spot all the way to the edge sideline to make that tackle.
Well, and that is the equalizer to the speed of Bassett. When you have a defense that can fill the lanes and get to the quarterback that quickly.
Truly playing sideline to sideline there.
Yeah. 2nd and 7, 2 receivers to the near side for Bassett. Takes the snap, Lambert through the middle. This time another hole to run through, and he puts his head down and muscles his way for a first down and then some across midfield.
Drug Sam Campbell, number 10, along for another extra 5-6 yards there. So nice run by number 8, Jonte Lambert.
So they'll move the chains yet again, and finally the Legends offense showing signs of life here in the second quarter.
Getting a little running game going here.
Yeah.
And, they obviously need that. They need to be able to mix this up enough and keep the Saints on their toes and have some balance between the run and pass, and they're doing that nicely right now.
Yeah, it's a great point. They really have had no success thus far in the passing game, but they've been creative in finding ways to get their playmakers the ball in the backfield, a couple different formations. And now 1st and 10 on the Bishop Dwenger 46-yard line. And it's going to be a flag. Looks like
I think he had actually signaled for timeout.
Yeah, he was making some motion towards the sideline.
Oh, they're going to give him the timeout.
Okay.
I thought he had called that before. He had turned around, looked at the official, and looked like he wanted the timeout, and the official threw the flag anyway.
So they'll award the timeout to the Legends, and we will step aside. Your score 9-6, Bishop Dwenger on top with 10:38 to go in the second quarter. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Tippmann Group is a family-owned business that's proud to call Fort Wayne home. We build cold storage facilities all around the United States, run one of the largest cold storage companies in the nation, and lease office space in Fort Wayne, like inside the Lincoln Tower.
Hi, I'm John Tippmann, president of Tippmann Group, and our family has been part of the Bishop Dwenger family for many years. We are a proud supporter of Dwenger Athletics. Go Saints.
We are back at Shields Field. Beautiful night for football. I tell you what, with the sun going down, Corey, this was a scorcher earlier on, but this is turning into a beautiful night.
It is a beautiful night, and I'm very interested to see how the conditioning holds out on these two teams in the second half. A lot of Legends have played both ways so far.
1st and 10 Legends. It's going to be Woods taking the snap and handing it off, and Lambert gets about back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of 1.
Interesting that they went Rodney Woods there.
Yeah. And it looks like Bassett is over on the far sideline with his helmet off. He's trying to work out his arm, so not sure if he had suffered some sort of injury there. But
maybe on that running play earlier on that sideline, I don't know.
And it looks like Jordan Turner is the one coming with the calling in the play from the sideline. So it continues to be the senior wide receiver, Rodney Woods. And he's going to pick the snap up off the floor, chucks it down the sideline. It is a wounded duck, and there is a big, what do you call that, Corey? That's offensive pass interference.
Well, there's a flag down to begin with because the Northside Legends were not set before the ball was snapped. So that happens when you have a new quarterback in. And there was some pass interference on the end of the play by Northside offensively that did not get called. So, but they're gonna hit him for procedure right here and march him back 5.
Right.
Not so sure that maybe the play shouldn't have been called dead to start with.
And that's why they didn't throw the flag at the end of the play.
That's what I'm.
Because given the choice, Dwenger would have taken the offensive pass interference call.
That's what I'm speculating up here from our air-conditioned press box.
Tough gig.
Mm-hmm.
So they continue to discuss this on the field and waiting the official signal. And we get a thumbs up.
That wasn't exactly the call we were looking for. What are we doing here?
Yeah, so he's picking up the flag, but no indication yet as
they didn't walk anything off. We're just going to play the down over? What are we doing here? Interesting.
That is interesting. So 2nd and 11, it looks like they're just going to replay the down. The ball was not moved at all.
Wow.
Okay. So here we go. Woods will take the snap yet again, hands off, and through the middle. Jonte Lambert picks up about 5.
Yeah, it does not look good on that sideline. Looks like Brashawn Bassett's got his shoulder pads off now, trying to figure things out over there. Maybe a shoulder injury. I hate to speculate.
Yeah.
But, now, the one thing that Woods gives you in the backfield, if you've got Woods and Lambert back there together, you've got some pretty electric guys in a 1-2 punch. They can run some running game there between the two of them,
right.
Do some fake handoffs and keeps and things of that nature when you got 2 electric guys back there like that. But it's clear that Woods doesn't play quarterback much.
Yeah. So here we're going to see him attempt to throw. He's got pressure, rolls out to the right side. He'll tuck it and run. Picks up the first down, but a flag flies, and that's going to be coming back on a holding call.
Yeah, it looked like 55. They're going to tag there on the hold for the Legends. That's Mitch Vargovich. And, there's a reason that the quarterback Woods was able to escape, and that's because Vargovich had a hold of the Saints defender there.
I tell you what, Corey, this keeps up. We're going to be testing the conditioning of the referees as well.
I mean, we're at 5 till 8 here, and we've still got 8:55 left in the second quarter. So it's been a long first half.
That it has. You know, you made the point about Woods playing quarterback. The only issue there is now you're missing 2 of your top playmakers with Bassett and Tay Johnson. So, you know, they might be able to have a nice 1-2 punch. You still have Jordan Turner on the outside, but you have a more inexperienced quarterback who might not be able to get him the ball as effectively, and therefore your weapons are severely limited.
And now they've split Ryan Collins out wide instead of tight end.
That time it is going to be a sack as Woods has nowhere to go, and it's a fumble called on the play. They're going to give the ball to the Saints. Big play there. Ben Simcox came out of the pile with a football.
Looked like Aziz Dixon was in there defensively on the pass rush and corralled the quarterback and forced the ball loose.
And the referees give the Saints a friendly shove back to the sideline. They've already had 2 sideline warnings and getting warned yet again.
Yeah, the Saints don't want a third one. That's for sure.
So the Saints put an end to that drive by the Legends. They start up on the 35-yard line with a 1st and 10. Springer in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers out to the near side, and he'll hand off to Teddy Steele, following his blocker through the middle, inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line.
Little counter play for the Saints. First time I've seen that this evening, where they pulled the left guard, kicked out the defensive end, and then KJ Tittman led Teddy Steele up into the hole.
Steele, one of the stable of running backs for the Saints. He had 4 rushes last week, 2 of them going for touchdowns as he showcased his wheels. 2nd and 4 after the pickup of 6. Springer takes a snap again to Steele, and he's trying to muscle his way. Just does get to the marker at the 25-yard line, but yet more laundry on the field.
It was a little power play to the left side. They pulled the right-hand guard out in front of Steele, and but it looks like this one's coming back.
I know it's early season, and you know the teams have to work through some of their troubles, but this has been a bit excessive.
We may have to get a number of penalties from our man Stats Thompson here soon, because I think they're piling up.
Another procedure call against the Saints. So right when Teddy Steele had his nose sitting right on the 1st down marker, they're going to march it back 5 yards and replay 2nd down, 2nd and 8 this time.
Like we've had 8 penalties thus far, and we've still got 8 minutes left in the second quarter. So
yeah,
that's it's a big number. 9, excuse me. That was the 9th right there.
Penalties.
9 penalties
and
already.
that's just on the Dwenger side.
No, that's
overall.
That's overall.
Okay. 2nd down for Springer and another flag. Yet again, they will blow this one dead as a false start against the Saints.
Make that 10 overall penalties.
Yeah.
And your point's well taken. That is the 7th against the Saints.
Wow. Well, the Saints are going to talk about things because clearly not everyone's on the same page.
Brody Dixon, their offensive coordinator, has a few emphatic words there for his offensive huddle right now.
Yep. So we will step aside. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Evans Toyota is locally owned and proudly supports Bishop Dwenger. Let's go Saints!
We are back at Shields Field, and Corey, we were talking in the break. I don't think it's any coincidence that the hot field conditions tonight and the high number of penalties are happening at the same time.
No question. When you have this kind of heat and humidity during a game, it just kind of, all the little tiny attention to detail things sometimes go out the window, and I think that's what the Saints are experiencing right now. So hopefully they can get it back together here.
Well, they've got the ball at the Legends' 38-yard line, facing a 2nd and 13. Again, 7:54 to go until halftime as the Saints lead 9-6 over the Legends. Springer's going to sit in the shotgun and takes the snap. Looking to throw, fires it back to the wide open Teddy Steele on the far sideline inside the 20, 15, 10, gunning for the end zone, and he'll get there. Touchdown, Saints.
Really nice play call and design out of the timeout where they snuck Steele around backside away from the rollout.
Yeah.
And, that was too easy.
Well, you said it all there, Corey. Beautifully designed play, and then the execution there as Steele ran somewhat of a wheel route out of the backfield, caught it, and then used his speed to win a foot race to the end zone.
I think he was actually the person that faked on the faked a handoff to him before Springer rolled right and then threw back left.
And now the PAT attempt for the Saints. Dickerson holds it down, and Belanda boots it through.
That's a really tough play for the defense. You don't normally account for the running back who faked the running play in the passing game then. So,
right.
That's a tough coverage issue for the Legends. Good play call and design by the Saints.
So your score, Bishop Dwenger 16, Northside 6. And we will step aside yet again. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
There's three kinds of people in this world: those that get the numbers and those that don't. If you need professional help when it comes to the numbers, whether it's payroll, accounting, or professional or personal taxes, come see the experts at Management and Tax Services. Proud to be Dwenger supporters for over 60 years.
Back at Shields Field, the Saints getting set to kick this one away as they have increased their lead to 10 points now. So after the Legends struck with that early defensive score, it has been all Saints, 16 straight points for the blue and gold.
Yeah, but it hasn't been pretty other than that last play. That was a beautiful play design. Some attention to detail things have crept in on the Saints thus far, but getting control of this game now.
And that's going to go down as the first varsity touchdown pass for Mr. Evan Springer.
Yeah, how about that? Good for him.
Belanda boots this one away. Another high kick. This one's falling at the 13-yard line as the Legends return this one and upended across the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Tough to find the number on that young man. 22 it appears, and that's Dominic Malone, a sophomore. 5'10", 160 running back for the Legends, takes it out to about the 26.
Well, Corey, it's tough to make comparisons with the Legends, looking at last week against Snyder because they're down a couple key weapons.
Yeah, without Bassett and Johnson, they're sort of effectively neutered here a little bit offensively. I mean, they just don't have their normal core of weapons, and it is tough. offensively, particularly with your backup quarterback in.
And that's what we continue to see as Woods takes the snap, takes a handoff off the turf, and hands to Lambert as he muscles his way through the pile. Picks up 2 yards on first down.
I think you'll probably see a steady diet at number 8 offensively for the Legends as long as this game remains fairly close.
Lambert, again, he rushed for 133 yards last week, but had a nice average. I mean, he averaged about 8 or 9 yards a carry, and he is not nearly having that same success tonight.
No, he's not. The front 7 of the Saints defense has done a nice job against him thus far.
2nd and 8 Legends. Woods tries to hand it off. Ball goes on the turf, and Woods, all he can do is pick it back up before he gets spun down for a sack, and now a flag on the field.
And then he doesn't like getting knocked down and throws the ball at the defender. I think he's going to get an unsportsmanlike 15 on top of this.
Well, you see the frustration boils over in many forms, especially on a hot night. And that is the call. So that'll march him back another 15 yards in addition to the sack. And nice job by the Saints keeping their heads on that play.
They have run in a little quicker defensive line unit to rush the passer. You've got Aziz Dixon and Jack Tippmann in at the defensive ends or defensive tackles in the 3-4 defense. And that's kind of for your speed rush. They are pinning their ears back and coming after the quarterback here.
2nd and long. This time Woods will just take it around the right side looking for the edge, and he is met with a host of blue jerseys as he crosses the 15-yard line.
Caught from behind by one of those aforementioned speed rushers in Aziz Dixon.
Yep. That's one thing we've talked about in this young football season, Corey, the team speed by the Saints.
Yeah, we've talked about over the last few years how really, the teams that have given the Saints defense trouble have been the teams with a big, powerful offensive line front, because the Dwenger defense is built for speed.
Right.
And Northside has not had that kind of unit tonight.
And now a delay of game, a very late substitution there on 4th down as the Legends took far too much time getting their punting unit onto the field.
Our 12th penalty of the evening.
So they'll march that one back yet again. It was already 4th and 23. So here we go. Another punting situation. It's going to be Henry O'Keefe back deep to receive this.
Looks like we stopped play. We've got a
equipment issue as the Legends try to get that helmet snapped.
Strap is not, chin snap, I should say, is not snapped on.
So Libby Callahan set to get this one away. Snap is good, does get the ball away, but off the side of his foot. And that one's bouncing down the right side, or the far sideline. They'll down it at the 40-yard line. So the Saints will start their next drive in Legend territory.
Great job by the Saints defense getting that stop deep and forcing that turnover and that punt, I should say, rather. And Saints offense is going to be the benefactors of that.
So 5:30 to go. In the second quarter, we're just barely over halfway through the second quarter as all these penalties continue to pile up. Saints on top 16-6 and looking to add to that with this drive. Springer comes out in the shotgun. They've gone deep to Sioka a couple times, and this time they look like they might want to go that way. They look down the other sideline to Henry O'Keefe, who's got a step on the defender, and it is incomplete. If that ball had been maybe 2 feet further, O'Keefe would have caught it for its score.
Pretty good coverage by Michael Dye, their number 11 for the Legends. He was step for step with O'Keefe to a certain extent. I think O'Keefe may have had one step on him, but it was underthrown just a bit.
So 2nd and 10 after the Saints take a shot on first down. You like the play call, though.
I do. I really do. He looked like he was looking for Sioka down at the bottom, but came back up top to O'Keefe.
Well, they continue to put that single coverage on Sioka as he's running on his own. This time they might look towards him. Springer has to stumble his way, and he's going to slide down. But, a safe play by Springer. As pressure got in his face, he could not get a clean release to Sioka, so he instead just tucked that one and picked up something.
Jordan Turner, who was the recipient of that monster hit from Adam Lee earlier in this game, is locked on to Sioka right now and doing a really good job defensively. Rocco cannot shake loose.
Rocco, one of the better route runners in the city as well. So Turner showcasing his ability on both sides of the football, as now the Saints face a 3rd and 7. Play clock down to 5. Sioka trying to get set. He does just in time. Springer fakes one pass, and a flag. Looks like they did blow this one dead before the snap.
Another procedure penalty on the Saints.
Well, the Saints, I have a feeling we know some of the things that Coach Garrett and the coaching staff are going to be talking about at halftime.
No question about it.
4:31 to go in this second quarter. And now 3rd and long for the Saints. Ball back to the 42-yard line, so 3rd and 12.
Stats, Thompson, what do you got there? 8th penalty of the night for the Saints?
That is correct. Yeah, 8 for 60 yards.
And we still have 4 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, those are numbers you see at the end of a game.
Yeah.
Here's 3rd and long for Springer. Looking to the far sideline, got some pressure, tries to escape. He does for the moment, now zings it down. He's got a man and trying to come back and make a play. He does as he inbounds.
Where's the official on the sideline?
Yeah, trying to find the official down there, but we do have a flag.
We got a hold. It's coming back.
And Springer took a shot yet again.
He did. I was trying to decide if that penalty was going to be a hold or a roughing the passer, and they got the hold on the Saints. Make that 9 penalties in the first half.
Wow. Well, both quarterbacks are taking a licking here tonight. We've already seen Bassett have to exit the game. Springer slow to get up twice now after absorbing some big hits.
You are typically all-knowing in Dwenger football trivia. What's the record for a half of penalties? We've got to be near it. Did they decline that? They must have declined.
They declined it, so it's going to make it 4th down.
4th and 12.
And now the Saints want to talk about this. They were lined up to go for it with trips to the near side, but Coach Garrett wants to think about this with 3:58 to go until halftime. Saints on top 16-6. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
You see them everywhere. That preferred auto bumper sticker. All makes and models. You ever wonder why? It's simple. We've worked hard over the last 30-plus years to earn your trust.
And with all the unknowns right now in the auto industry, we're still confident in one thing. With over $6 million in inventory, I'm sure we have the perfect vehicle for you.
So stop by any of our 3 convenient locations and see what sets us apart from the rest.
Preferred Auto.
We are back at Shields Field, a 4th and 12 facing the Saints. And we'll see if they bring their offense back onto the field. They're on the 42-yard line of the Legends, so
nearly no man's land. This feels like a fairly big play in the course of this game for the Legends, quite frankly.
Right.
They need to keep the Saints from getting a first down if they want to establish anything here in this first half.
The last time they were in this situation in the first quarter, they did a little bit of a pooch punt. Instead, it is the offense on the field. Sioka's got single coverage. Springer tries to escape and zing it in his direction. He does get away. Now looking to make a play. Fires it down the field. O'Keefe is there trying to make the play. And a lot of contact there as they go down near the goal line, but no flag is thrown.
That is really good coverage. It looked like Brevon Bassett, is that number 2 for the Legends that's down back there? Looked like O'Keefe sort of landed on him, and
his teammates are calling the medical staff out onto the field.
Let's hope it's just the wind knocked out of him. That's the type of play where you often see when one player lands on another where the wind gets knocked out of you. Let's hope that's the case.
So they'll come 10 to him. Boy, that was a big play. And Springer bought some time by rolling out to the right. Looked like initially he wanted to go to Sioka, had pressure in his face, and was able to find a streaking O'Keefe. Single coverage, put the ball where his receiver could make a play. And you said it, Corey, that was some tight coverage, both going up to make a play on the football. And we hope he is going to be okay.
Really impressed with the Legends secondary thus far. A lot of those guys are matched up in man-to-man coverage and are doing the job, quite frankly, on those Saints receivers.
Well, how often do we see, especially through the course of last year, Rocco Sioka would make the play on those 50-50 balls. He would come out down with the football more often than not, and that has not been the case tonight.
Yeah, they have done a great job in the secondary thus far.
Well, they're still taking a look in the end zone, so we're going to step aside as they tend to their injured player. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions. If we can find some other local scores of note.
Yeah, interesting. Homestead all over Concordia, 49-7, and still with time remaining in the first half. We've got Snyder and Carroll out at Northrop tonight. Snyder home game. Snyder up 14-13 just prior to halftime, so a tight one there. And I've got, let's see here, we've got one other, got 14-13, the Eastside Blazers over Adams Central at halftime.
How did I
you
know
knew
you
I'd
fit
get
that
one in.
Eastside score into there?
Sneaky,
Big shocker.
Sneaky. So that's a good game in Butler. You've got the number 7 ranked team in 2A in the Blazers against, I think, number 2 or 3 in 1A and in the Adams Central Flying Jets. So good football game up in Butler.
Yep, one of the marquee matchups of tonight, no doubt. Well, good news, Brevon Bassett was able to walk off the field under his own strength. So we wish him the best. Hopefully, like you said, Corey, that's just a case of getting the wind knocked out of him. And we are set to go yet again. It's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Legends after the turnover on downs. Rodney Wood still at quarterback, takes the high snap, gets it to Lambert, and he gets swallowed up by a sea of blue and gold.
Ben Simcox, I think, was the first one in there. Just came flying up the middle from his middle linebacker spot, and loss of about 4 or 5 on the play there.
Well, Ben Simcox was the one that blocked the punt last week at Wayne. And I don't think in the moment we were able to give credit where credit was due on that play. We mentioned Luke Shuckle getting the fumble recovery, but it was Simcox getting the block. And he knows how to shoot through the line.
We talked a lot last week about the 4 linebackers they had to replace.
Right.
These guys are plug and play right now.
Another example right there. Another tackle for loss for the Saints. And that's Jack Tittman.
And Ben Simcox.
Yep.
Yeah, the Saints, 4 linebackers, when they go Groves, and you've got Vogelweed and Simcox in the middle and Cole Carey on the other outside spot. Those 4 have done a great job from the linebacker position thus far, and Jack Tittman's flying in there at defensive tackle as well right now.
It's going to bring up a 3rd and 16. Woods looking to throw. He's got some time. Fires it down the sideline a bit high. And Colin Vance is there to pick this one off. Escapes from the defender down the sideline inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line.
Like Ryan Collins, number 1, was sort of the intended receiver there. Sort of tipped the ball up in the air, and Vance was right there in perfect position to make the grab. So making his presence felt, not only on the tackle side, but on an interception there. And Saints defense really happy to have their 2-year starter at free safety back in the lineup.
Well, he's a player who's always had a nose for the football. Able to come up with several interceptions last season. Gets his first pick of this season. And that Saints secondary is lethal. So Bishop Dwenger takes over on the Legend 27-yard line. They'll put 2 receivers to the near side as Springer stands in the shotgun. 2:12 to go in the opening half. Saints up 10, looking to add. And another flag.
Delay a game on the Saints. That would be the 10th penalty for the Saints of the first. Actually, I don't think we count the last one because it was declined. So we're still at 9, holding at 9. But that's a lot of laundry on the field for both teams, but in particular the Saints, who usually pride themselves on that discipline and attention to detail.
Yep, fundamentals. So 1st and 15. Play clock down to 5. They do get the snap off. Pitching back to Teddy Steele around the left side. And he's able to get back to about the original line of scrimmage.
Little quick toss, pin and pull, where you pull the guard out in front on the edge, and the speed guy, Steele, was able to pick up a couple.
2nd and 11. So the Saints would love to finish off this first half by finding the end zone and adding to their lead. Here comes Springer under center. Hands off to the second man through. It is Teddy Steele, and he goes straight through the middle down to the 15-yard line before he is upended.
Yeah, he was a Jalen Ellis tackle away from breaking that for a touchdown. Jaden Ellis, defensive back linebacker for the Legends there, was able to corral him, but after a big gain.
1st and 10 Saints. Clock ticks down inside 2 minutes to go. Another power I formation for Bishop Dwenger. They'll hand it off to KJ Tippmann. He's going to try to find the outside and slides down at about the 16 for a loss.
Went under center and a quick handoff to sort of the up-back, the H-back or fullback there on Tippmann, and they did not surprise the Legends with that one.
Yeah. Just a reminder, folks, we are going to have at halftime a special guest, Bobby Cox, former commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, now a member of the Indianapolis Host Committee for the college football playoffs. So stay tuned. 1 minute 17 away. Springer takes the snap this time, hands off to Teddy Steele around the left side, trying to get to the edge. Gets past one defender inside the 10 before he's ushered out of bounds. Able to pick up about 6 yards on 2nd down.
Legends, quite honestly, showed a lot of team speed there and stretching that play out to the sidelines. I thought Teddy Steele had the edge, and a couple of defenders from the Legends kind of came out of nowhere to force him out of bounds.
So clock is stopped at 1:04. Plenty of time for the Saints to prepare for this play. Big play here in the ballgame, 3rd and 4. And if you're the Legends, you want to try to hold the Saints to a field goal, keep it a 2-score game. Saints need the 5-yard line for a first down. Hand it off to Steele through the middle, picking his way through the middle and getting inside down to about the 2-yard line.
Picked up the first down. Really nice play. Looked just like an basic isolation play there. They had KJ Tippmann lead blocking on the linebacker ahead of Teddy Steele, and wouldn't surprise me if they went right back to that here.
Yep. No huddle for the Saints. Springer comes under center, down to 50 seconds to go. I formation. They'll hand it off to Steele, and he is going to walk his way into the end zone for a Bishop Dwenger touchdown.
Another ISO play right there. Just went. Last play they went to the left side. This play they went to the right, and this was under center this time. But KJ Tippmann makes a nice lead block out in front of Teddy Steele, and he's able to get into the end zone.
22-6 is the score as Belanda lines up for the PAT. Bodie Dickerson is holding for the Saints. Gets the snap down. Belanda boots it through. And that makes 23 straight points for the Saints after an early 6-0 deficit. With 42 seconds left, we'll step aside. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Evans Toyota is locally owned and proudly supports Bishop Dwenger. Let's go Saints!
Welcome back to Shields Field. Another flag has been thrown on the Saints. Go figure. And it looks like another sideline infraction. Corey, that's the third one tonight.
It is, and I can understand Coach Garrett's disgust on that one. It appeared that the play was really over.
Yeah.
And they were celebrating the touchdown and the extra point on the sidelines. And, I understand the rule. The rule is there to keep the sideline clear for that official that has to run down the sideline during the play.
Right.
But once that play is dead, after a score like that, that one's a little bit questionable, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's not the usual scenario that they throw that flag. So it looks like they are going to march that one off for the kickoff. Saints on top 23-6. I tell you what, Corey, for everything that has gone wrong for the Saints, on their way to potentially a school record for penalties in the game, you had Everett Springer with 2 first-quarter turnovers, interception, and a fumble that was picked up and returned for a touchdown. They're up 23-6.
Yeah, they're fortunate. They're playing a really undermanned Legends crew right now. Part of that, obviously, with Tay Johnson to start with. Bassett got popped here tonight, and their quarterback is out. I think some of that also comes from, the week after playing a physical game against Snyder.
Right.
That has to take a toll and make an impact as well. So.
Well, physical and also quite emotional.
Yes.
To be that close, to feel like you had the game just literally taken out from under you.
How would you like to be the Northside Legends when the schedule comes out that you have to start the year against Snyder and Dwenger back-to-back?
Oh, beautiful move by Rodney Woods on the sideline as he makes 2 Dwenger men miss and gets up to midfield.
Great moves and footwork there by Woods.
So, here we go. The Legends have the ball at the midfield stripe with 37 seconds. At the very least, thanks to the penalty, they've got a couple shots to try to get this one close enough for an end zone heave. And, of course, we know their kicker's got some leg, right?
Yeah, no question. After last week, we saw them kick a number of field goals against Snyder. Good.
Nick Talamantes was the hero with the 47-yarder as the game expired.
Snyder, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was for Snyder. So, from their own 49-yard line, Woods is going to hand it off on the sweep. And cutting back inside is Dye up to about the 45-yard line.
I'm going to correct you on that, actually. That was a pass.
That was. You're right.
You toss it up in the air, and the receiver runs by and grabs it. It is a pass for the passing stats. And a former quarterback coach would know that because that is an easy completion for your quarterback.
Yep. So the clock continues to run. No timeouts for the Legends. 2nd and 4. Woods is going to try to toss this one as far as he can down the sideline into double coverage, and it's going to be picked kickoff.
Vance again.
Colin Vance does his dance on the sideline, and the first half ends with another Dwenger interception. 23-6, Saints on top as we head into the halftime break.
That first half ends mercilessly at this point.
Yes.
Mercifully.
So the teams will make their way to the sidelines, and we will step aside. Once again, join us after this break for our halftime interview with Bobby Cox. You're watching Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions.
All right.
There we go.
All good.
So we can just alternate questions if you want.
By all means. Fire away.
You know, there's three kinds of people in this world: those that get the numbers and those that don't. If you need professional help when it comes to the numbers, whether it's payroll, accounting, or professional or personal taxes, come see the experts at Management and Tax Services. Proud to be Dwenger supporters for over 60 years.
You see them everywhere. That preferred auto bumper sticker. All makes and models. You ever wonder why? It's simple. We've worked hard over the last 30 plus years to earn your trust.
And with all the unknowns right now in the auto industry, we're still confident in one thing. With over $6 million in inventory, I'm sure we have the perfect vehicle for you.
So stop by any of our 3 convenient locations and see what sets us apart from the rest.
Preferred Auto.
St. Anne Communities is a senior living community including a rehabilitation center, memory and dementia care, assisted and residential living, as well as a nursing facility that served the community for over 54 years. While offering a Christ-centered environment that is the only place in Fort Wayne that offers daily mass and sacraments. For more information on employment, senior living, or to make a gift to support the first floor renovation campaign, please visit us at our website or give us a call.
Cool. And so my job was to just make sure their owners and everybody got around.
All right, folks, welcome back to Shields Field and halftime here as Bishop Dwenger leads Northside 23-6. Our halftime sponsor tonight, First Source Bank. Are you ready to take a big step forward in life and set up your own bank account? First Source Bank has the perfect option for students. Our e-student checking accounts are simple to start, and they're designed to help you begin your financial journey. Check it out at firstsource.com. That's 1stsource.com. Well, as we mentioned throughout the night, this game is being featured as part of the Indiana Tailgate Tour, and it is now our pleasure to welcome in a special guest to the booth, a board member of the Indianapolis Host Committee and the former commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Bobby Cox. Bobby, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
So we're really excited that, of course, the host committee is able to pay a visit here to Bishop Dwenger as part of the Tailgate Tour. Just talk a little bit about this tour, how it came about, and how Bishop Dwenger was chosen as a host school.
Well, Indianapolis has been so fortunate to be awarded the national championship game. It's the first time that the national championship game's been outside one of the traditional 4 bowl cities: the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, and the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do some unique things to promote the game and to create a great fan experience and put on a great show. The tailgate tour is the first time that we know of any of the bowl cities that have ever gone out into their state and tried to generate support and enthusiasm for the game. We worked in tandem with the Department of Education, so we are in every region of the state, of their 9 regions, throughout the 18 games that we're going to have, 9 weeks of the regular football season, high school. And so we're trying to touch every corner of the state, and we're happy to be in Fort Wayne tonight and be able to award some grants. The College Football Foundation, they're really about education and teachers and rewarding teachers. And we all know how difficult last year was for our teachers.
Right.
And so the opportunity to provide some funding, recognize their Herculean effort, is really what this is about. And so we're happy to be here at Dwenger tonight to do that.
Absolutely. Well, you have the distinction as one of 25 board members of the host committee. I'm curious how your time as commissioner kind of helped prepare you for that opportunity, especially working with the IHSAA Foundation that you helped create in providing grants to schools and student athletes. Did that play a part as well?
It does, and all those things kind of work together,
Yeah.
and having the opportunities to work with different groups of people with common missions and common goals. And the College Football Foundation has that goal to recognize teachers, opportunity to give some grants around the state. Yeah, it does help you to have that experience. I've had an opportunity to be on the Sports Corp board, Indiana Sports Corp, and so with those experiences, it became a natural to be a part of the college football playoff board here, the local host committee, and I enjoy the work. This is the kind of stuff I enjoyed when I was still working, going to games, seeing the excitement, seeing the games, seeing the teams play. That's the part I really enjoy, so I'm getting to do that again.
Well, I want to pay a very big compliment to you and the IHSAA. I think we have, in the state of Indiana, the best high school football playoffs of any state. I mean, everybody gets in. It's a class system, and it culminates at what they tell you when you walk into it is the finest football facility in the world in Lucas Oil Stadium.
Well, we are very fortunate, and you make a great point. We are one of the very few states in the union where every high school football team gets in the tournament.
Yeah.
Many states are so big that they have to have some kind of play-in system. Maybe you have to win your conference or win your district, or something has to happen. We think it's a great part of membership. When you're a member of the IHSA, not only are you eligible for the football tournament, you're eligible for every tournament. You are in. And you know, we've had some teams, I give the example all the time of a school, Northwood High School, back in the 90s. They went 3-6 in the regular season. In a lot of states, they would have been out of the playoffs.
Right.
They had kids hurt. They were the smallest school in their conference. They took them a long time to get healthy. And then they went on a 6-game win streak and won the state championship.
There you go.
That doesn't happen anywhere but Indiana.
That's right.
That's the beauty of it. Well, as commissioner, you were always a strong proponent of change and improvement, and one of those improvements was the success factor that you brought about in 2012. And of course, Dwenger fans are familiar with that because the Saints have been moved up to 5A for the last 2 years, and it's given them the opportunity to play some quality programs in the tournament like Valparaiso and Zionsville, teams they would not have played otherwise. So I'm curious, now that you have a chance to kind of sit back as a fan, how have you seen the success factor play out and just help the competitive balance in the state?
Well, I think that was the initial reason we did it, was to address competitive balance. You know, a lot of states around us and around the country did things such as multipliers and reverse multipliers and things of that nature with little to no success. The reality is people are only concerned with who wins.
Yeah.
And when you win the state championship year after year after year in the same class, and you're not in the classification, which is the largest schools, then maybe you need to be playing somebody a little better. That's happened here at Dwenger. That's happened to Snyder here in Fort Wayne. And I think all it does is make that football program or basketball program or volleyball program or whatever sport you're speaking of, it makes them better. It raises their bar.
Right.
It makes them play harder and makes their program better. I can't see any downside to that.
Right.
And so I think that the fact that we were able to address competitive balance, and we've been able to do it without legislative interference, we've been able to do it with good school support, all of those things have done what we've intended it to do. And we have great competitions at the state finals. You rarely see a blowout anymore.
Right. Well, I have to ask you, right before you stepped away as commissioner, you had the pandemic hit. You had to make the decision to halt the boys basketball tournament and the decision to scrap the spring sports season entirely. And you talked about how emotional it was to do that. So from that perspective, how rewarding is it for you now to be able to go on this tour and to visit these facilities and to see the students back and the fans back and the community back to support all their student athletes?
Well, it's tremendously rewarding to just see people in the stands and see the players' friends, their classmates, their parents, their neighbors, their supporters out here with an opportunity to watch them play. It's really rewarding for me. And you mentioned that period of time at the end of the basketball tournament and the spring sports. It was probably the most painful decision that I ever made as commissioner, but it was a decision that had to be made, and everybody had to make the same decision around us. I can remember when the Big Ten pulled their teams off the floor on Thursday night, and I knew right then we were done. Because we had Thursday, we had said we're going to try to play without fans. And when they pulled their kids off the floor, I said, well, we're done. So when Friday at noon, we shut her down. You know, that was really difficult, but it was the right decision. I felt terrible for the kids. I felt terrible for the seniors, felt terrible for the fans, but we've learned some things. And now here we are back in school. We're still dealing with COVID. I think one of the lessons we've learned is COVID's here to stay, and we need to learn to deal with it. And whether that's getting a shot or wearing your mask or whatever it is in your own personal preference, you got to learn to deal with it because it's not going away.
Yep. Well, I just want to say thanks for taking the time to join us tonight. I do have one last question before we let you go. Now that you're retired, what are you doing with all this extra time on your hands? Are you able to make it to more games? Are you working on your golf game? What are you up to?
Well, my golf buddies would say I'd be better off to take 2 weeks off and then quit. I'm playing a little golf, and I'm riding around in our boat, and I'm enjoying retirement, but I do get to go to games. I'll go to one every week now in the tour. I'm going to more events now that we're playing events. I'm looking forward to it. My wife and I are going to take a big trip this winter and go see some basketball, and so we're looking forward to it. It's just rewarding to see us back playing.
Yeah. Well, I can't thank you enough for being with us tonight, for what you're doing with the host committee, and thanks to all your time serving the Hoosier State with the Indiana Athletic Association.
Well, thank you. I appreciate what you guys are doing for high school sports and the promotions you're doing for Dwenger High School. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Bobby Cox, former commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and here on a special mission from the Indianapolis Host Committee. We're going to step aside, be right back to finish up our halftime show and take a look at some first half stats. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Hi, sports fans. Sean McBride here, inviting you to try the Barbershop experience. St. Joe Center Barbershop, located at the corner of St. Joe Center and Maple Crest, prides itself on professionalism, cleanliness, and a family-friendly atmosphere. In their third generation of family ownership, they have a combined experience of over 125 years. Give them a call at 485-6981. It's my barbershop of choice. That's St. Joe Center Barbershop at 485-6981.
Evans Toyota is locally owned and proudly supports Bishop Dwenger. Let's go, Saints!
Back at Shields Field, a couple minutes to go before we kick things off for the third quarter. But first, we're going to check in with Kevin Thompson for first half stats. Kevin, take it away.
Yeah, guys, Northside receiving, they were 2 of 6, 12 yards, 2 interceptions by Woods in that first half. and then they also had 1 fumble for a total of 3 turnovers. Lambert had 11 carries, 25 yards. Team was 19 carries, 32 yards. Then they had the 5 penalties for 50 yards in that first half. For Dwenger, Springer was 3 of 10 for 50 yards. Long was a throwback to Steele for 38 yards and the touchdown. Receivers, Steele with 30, or the Steele with the big 38-yard touchdown reception. Rushing was 9 carries, 32 yards for Steele, and then KJ Tippmann was 5 carries for 30 yards. Then you can't leave out the 100 or 98-yard kickoff return for the first score for Henry O'Keefe in that first half. But really, the highlight was our penalties. 10 penalties for 80 yards for Dwenger, 5 for 50 for Northside.
Yeah.
Looking over your shoulder, the thing that sticks out to me is Northside's run 25 offensive plays and gained 44 total yards. That's less than 2 yards a play.
Yeah.
And that is how well the Dwenger defense is playing right now.
Wow. That says it all right there. Both teams back out of the field, warming up for the third quarter of action. And, boy, Corey, we talked at the late second quarter about Bishop Dwenger, and, you know, despite the mistake-filled first half, to be up 23-6 is a luxury. And for the Legends, meanwhile, you kind of feel like you just want to get through this game without any more injuries, right?
I feel for them with all of the guys they've had go down here, and from a game plan perspective at halftime, I don't even know what you say to those kids at this point, because they're dealing with second and third teamers in, and how do you put any kind of drive together like that? It's going to be tough.
Tough indeed. Well, Bishop Dwenger, as we said, their defense only allowed 7 points. Their first-string defense only gave up 7 points to Wayne last week. They haven't given up anything tonight. The 6 points on the board, courtesy of a defensive fumble return for touchdown by the Legends. That was the first score of the ball game. And since then, 23 straight points for the Gold Helmets. So it has been all Dwenger tonight.
Been very opportunistic, no doubt about it.
Yep.
Taking advantage of their opportunities. Made a lot of mistakes, but it's early. It's early in this season. It's a hot night.
Yeah.
And you're going to have some mistakes. They're just fortunate. They're fortunate they're playing an undermanned unit in the Legends.
Well, and as we said last week, talking about the early part of that schedule, facing Wayne, Northside, Southside, is probably a benefit to the Saints this year, as it takes some time to work through the kinks, to get everyone on the same page and get those new starters a lot of reps.
No doubt about it. This is you'll see a lot probably of new jerseys in the lineup for the Saints as we move further into the second half, because I just can't foresee the Legends mounting any real kind of comeback with so many guys down.
Right. So we're getting set to kick things away. Before we do, Corey, that was just a really nice opportunity to interview Bobby Cox. Great of him to spend the time, come up to our air conditioning press box. We really had to twist his arm for that one.
Well, I really wanted, I didn't ask him many questions. You did a great job with the interview, but I really wanted to make sure that we touched on the fact that in the state of Indiana, we have the best playoff structure in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that every school gets into the playoffs, and he mentioned, a Northwood team from a number of years ago that entered the playoffs at 3-6 and won a state championship. That just doesn't happen anywhere else. So, to have everybody get in, to have a class structure, to have it end at Lucas Oil Stadium, I was fortunate in 6 years on this coaching staff to make it down to Lucas Oil 3 times.
Yeah.
And it is a ride that you never forget, and it's a great opportunity. And the fact that these kids have that opportunity on an annual basis is just, I just can't say enough about it.
Couldn't say it better myself. We're going to check in with Sean McBride after this kickoff. Fielded at the 11-yard line by the Legends. And straight up the middle, up to the 25. Sean, what do you have for us down there?
Hey, thanks very much, Eric. Down here with Coach Jason Garrett. Coach, thoughts on the first half? This is kind of a dogfight, haymakers thrown right out of the gate, and then kind of the wheels came off at some point. What was your message to the team during the halftime break?
First of all, hi to the 25 guys that aren't with us tonight. There's been a lot of distraction all week. I think it carried over into some of those early offensive series, and we settled down a little bit. Defense, special teams are carrying us there for a while. I think we just got to settle down on offense, try and do some things. They mixed the things up a little bit on us. It's a fast game. It's an exciting game. We're home. Kids were excited, so I think we'll be all right here. We settled down. We're going to run the ball a little bit more and put the gas pedal down hopefully, and see if we can finish this thing.
Great stuff. Good luck in the second half, Coach. All right, back up to you, Eric. Dwenger football on tap.
All right, thank you, Sean. Always nice to hear from Coach Garrett, especially mid-game.
Yeah, no, that's a great situation to get an interview. Great job, Sean, to do that right before we start the half. And just as he said, we're going to settle down. Ben Simcox comes flying through the Legends offensive line and makes a stick for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, someone forgot to tell Ben that they're having an off night. Here is Rodney Woods at quarterback and nearly picked off. Instead, it is hauled in for a catch on the sideline.
It looks like number 4 over there.
I think it's Jordan Turner.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Number 9 across the field. Really good catch because Sam Campbell was right there.
Yeah.
To almost tip it up in the air, and Turner makes a great catch to come down with it. But 3rd and about 4.5.
So Rodney Woods, the senior wide receiver, still playing as the backup quarterback now. If you're just joining us, Brayshawn Bassett, the starting quarterback, went down with an injury in the first half. And really, I think it was after he absorbed that big hit down on the near side of the football field. Just does get that play away. Woods trying to elude pressure, dumps the football forward as he's falling down. That looked like it could have been intentional grounding. But
yeah, they're going to give him the incomplete pass there, maybe mercifully, but nonetheless, going to bring up 4th and 4.5.
So likely a punt upcoming for the Legends as the well runs dry on their first offensive possession of the second half. But now they're huddled up like they might try to go for this. I mean, you're down 2 scores. You're not out of the ball game. I mean, despite all of their depleted roster issues.
Looks like they're going for it. And they're going to call a timeout.
Yep. They did have a time in the first half. They lined up to go for a 4th down, called a timeout, and came back with a punting unit. We'll see if they decide to do that as well. After this short break, you're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
There's 3 kinds of people in this world. Those that get the numbers and those that don't. If you need professional help when it comes to the numbers, whether it's payroll, accounting, or professional or personal taxes, come see the experts at Management and Tax Services. Proud to be Dwenger supporters for over 60 years.
We are back at Shields Field. Legends facing a 4th and 4 from their own 32-yard line. And if they decide to go for this, which all indications are they do as their offense huddles up, this is a big turning point in the game.
No question about it. I think they've got to get Woods on the move. He can't just stay in the pocket, I don't think,
right,
with the Saints pinning their ears back and coming after him. So I think they want to get him on the move. Easy throw, sort of a sideline route, something of that nature, maybe even into their own sidelines, short side of the field.
They are going for it. 2 receivers to the top side of the field. They let the defense through. Screen pass is caught for a second, and then the ball is knocked out. It looks like they're calling it a completion and a fumble.
Ben Simcox has been all over the field this evening, and it's him again sniffing out that screenplay. Great job on his part to recognize that screen. That's great recognition.
Well, it was a heck of a catch by Lambert to even pull that in. The throw was a bit off target, and really whoever recovered that fumble didn't matter. It was 4th down. The ball was coming back to the Saints either way.
In a really short field for the Saints.
Yeah, they'll start at the 25-yard line of the Legends and will come out in power I. Springer under center. He'll hand off to Teddy Steele through the middle. Sidesteps a couple defenders inside the 15, the 10, looking for the pylon, and he will barrel his way into the end zone for a score.
Outstanding run by Teddy Steele. One play is all it took for the Saints to get back on the board in the second half.
A statement series there for the Saints, snuffing out the 4th down attempt by the Legends, and one play later, reaching pay dirt on a Teddy Steele 20-yard touchdown scamper.
Any life that the Legends had left in the second half, I think, was just extinguished.
I would have to agree with that, 100%. Belanda set to boot this one up for the PAT as Dickerson is there for the hold. Early movement, and they'll throw this one dead.
Oh, good, another penalty.
Imagine that.
It's been a while. I mean, it's been 2 minutes since we've seen the flag, so why not?
So they're going to call that one on the Saints. And it looks like they'll just mark it back 5 yards and re-kick. Well, no, it looks like that was, I'm sorry, it was on the Legends. So they'll put the ball at the 1.5-yard line.
Did they bring the offense back in?
They did.
They are.
And here comes Springer. Saints have been unsuccessful already on a 2-point conversion in the first quarter. Still with 15 seconds on the play clock to get this one off.
Plenty of time.
Yep.
Aziz will be in the eye behind KJ Tippmann.
Yep. You like your chances running that eye. Power eye. Nope, they're going to fake that and toss a fade to Sioka, and that throw is overthrown out of the back of the end zone. Sioka never had a chance.
No, he didn't. Just completely threw it out of bounds. There did Evan Springer. He's got to give Sioka a chance. But I will say this. Number 9 for the Northside Legends, Jordan Turner, has done a great job on Rocco Sioka tonight. And I thought coming into the game that Tay Johnson would be the guy locked on to Sioka. Without him, Turner has done phenomenally.
Yeah, I think that probably was the plan to have Tay out there, but Turner kind of forced into duty. Of course, he'd be out there on the field anyway. He does everything for this squad, but drawing the assignment on the 6'5" Sioka is no easy task. So one of the bright spots for the Legends tonight, no doubt. The play of their secondary has been physical. They've made plays, and they've prevented the Saints from winning those 50-50 balls that we usually see.
Kevin, I'm curious, does Rocco Sioka have a catch tonight? He does not. That's, you would expect. Yeah, they've targeted him 3 times, according to stats, and but no catches thus far. And that's you would think they'd like to get that fixed here before they bring in all the subs.
Right. Well, Sioka had 3 grabs last week at Wayne, and that was the high of any of their receivers. 3 catches for 42 yards.
But credit Northside. They have done the job on him.
They have. So the Saints will kick this one away. 29-6 is your score after that failed 2-point conversion attempt, as we have 10:08 on the clock in the third quarter. Belanda, another high kick fielded at the 14-yard line. Here comes Jordan Turner through the middle. He's got some blockers and some speed as he shoots across the 35-yard line to the 36.
A lot of fight still left in that young man. Did a great job on defense in the end zone against Sioka on the last play, and now runs this kickoff back past the 35-yard line and was electric in doing so.
So Legends find themselves down by 23 points here, and a long uphill battle ahead of them. You know, you'd almost think that they would try some design quarterback runs with Woods at quarterback and try to get him on the outside, but he's had a hard time reaching the edge with the Dwenger pressure.
He has. You're absolutely right. Hitting the nail on the head. The outside backers, Carey and Groves, have just been. There it is again, on command, right into Gavin Groves, excuse me. Runs right into him and tackle for loss. Another one of those for number 34.
You know, this is almost a recycled script from last year when the Saints went up to Chambers Field in Week 2 and played the Legends. I remember that same point being made as Deuce Taylor was able to be contained in the pocket because of the edge pressure. He was not able to have the normal success and do all the Deuce things that he did.
Right, you're exactly right. Even though he had a big night that night, if memory serves, he had a lot of stats as far as yardage and such. Right. But you're right. I think that anytime you have an offensive structure like the Legends, where they like to get their quarterback on the edge, it really limits their ability to make big plays if you can keep him in the pocket.
So a 15-yard penalty on the Saints is going to march the ball across midfield to the Bishop Dwenger 49. Low snap for Woods, picks it up off the turf, tries to run forward, and is met by a host of Saints.
Yeah, just a broken play, unfortunately, due to a bad shotgun snap. And, sad that the only time we ever talk about the center is when he botches the snap. But I won't name any names, but yeah, that's a tough way to get a play going if you can't even get the ball to the quarterback.
Legends already playing undermanned here, and they're facing a 2nd and 14. And this is a tough assignment for a guy like Ben Johnson Jr., your second game as a head coach, and you're having to scrap your game plan and come up with something on the fly. Movement before the snap. Everyone moved except the center and the quarterback that time.
I'm afraid that it's probably it'll be called on the guys that moved, but it's probably on the center. That's back-to-back plays for the Northside Legends center that struggling a little bit up front.
Ben Johnson Jr., we mentioned before in his first year as head coach, he takes over for Mike Brevard. We've talked before in past years about the work that Coach Brevard did for this Legends program, turning it around and making them an entertaining and contending team in the SAC. Fumble on the ground, picked up. No, they're going to call incomplete.
No kidding.
Wow.
Wasn't a jet sweep, was it? I mean,
I didn't think so. I didn't think he had control of it to even pitch it forward.
Interesting. That call is a little baffling to me.
The entire Dwenger offense was running onto the field when the referees had to stop them. Even the PA announcer. And now they do switch it. So they will give Bishop Dwenger the ball, which looked like early indications should have been that way right from the get-go. Saints football after the fumbled snap there. But Corey, as a coach, I'm curious. We talk about the momentum Mike Brevard had for this program. And, of course, he left to take the linebacker coach position at St. Francis. As a head coach coming into a program that has some momentum, how difficult is that to keep the momentum going?
Yeah, I think that's easier than trying to resurrect it from the depths, if you will. But you're right. It is a difficult job, a tough act to follow, so to speak. But Brevard did a nice job of laying the groundwork for this Legends program, and I do think it's a little easier than starting from scratch.
Yep, I agree. Meanwhile, KJ Tittman takes that around the left side, and guess what? Another flag on the field. Looks like early indications are holding penalty, and that's coming against the Saints. So Ben,
words of legendary coach Hank Stram, this group is over officious.
Well, we talked about conditioning, and that referee certainly looked like they had the endurance to go 4 quarters here. So first and 15, or I'm sorry, second and 21 after the penalty. And now they'll change it to first down. Springer out of the shotgun, working with 2 receivers. Hand off to KJ Tittman, picking his way through the line, up across the 45, down to the 42-yard line. An easy 10-yard pickup for KJ. He has had a lot of success running through the middle of that Legend defense in his limited touches tonight.
Yeah, it looks like they can pick up 6, 8, 10 yards anytime they want it with that inside zone play right up the middle.
So call it a 9-yard gain on first down, second and 12 from the 42-yard line. Springer again in the shotgun. Hands off to KJ again. KJ full head of steam, and he'll fall forward again. Falling forward for the Saints, picks up 5 yards.
Yeah, just as we discussed. Same play, right up the middle with that inside zone, and it wouldn't shock me if they ran it a 3rd time in a row.
So 2 running plays gets the Saints out of a first and long situation, and now no longer behind the sticks, 3rd and 6.
And probably in 4-down territory here.
Right. Springer shouting out instructions. He's going to put Sioka and O'Keefe back to the near side of the field. Springer takes a snap, fakes the handoff. He's got pressure, rolls to his right, fires it, and he's looking for his man. Incomplete. As that time, the intended receiver, coming across the pattern was Stellan Rustin.
Rustin had a nice game for them against Wayne a week ago and has been kind of the forgotten man tonight as well. But, again, credit the coverage by the Northside Legend defensive secondary. Those defensive backs have done a really nice job in mostly man-to-man coverage against the Saints receivers. Saints have had a tough time shaking loose for any kind of, ability to get open.
Yeah. So the Saints offense does remain on the field for 4th and 6. Again, they're on their 36-yard line of the Legend. Springer looking to throw here, setting up the screen. It's caught by KJ Tittman, cutting back inside across the 30, down to the 25-yard line, and that is enough for a Saints first down.
Very timely screen call by the Saints. A little running back slip screen where KJ sneaks out into the right flat, and nice first down play.
So the Saints move the chains, and KJ shows that he is not only a capable back, but he is a capable receiver as well. One of many weapons for this Dwenger offense. This time they'll put 3 receivers to the top of your screen. KJ next to Evan Springer. Springer fires it into the flats. He's got Sioka open, and he runs across the 15 inside to the 13-yard line as Rocco Sioka makes his first grab of the ball game.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was coming at some point before they take their first team offense off the field for the night. They want to make sure they get Big 86 a grab.
Yep. 29-6 is your score. Saints on top with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Get a pretty good feeling if the Saints find pay dirt on this possession, that'll be all she wrote for the starters. They'll put trips to the near side for Springer in the shotgun. 1st and 10, low snap. Springer picks it up, swings it out to KJ Tittman, juggles and does secure the ball, and then runs and trucks a defender down to the 12-yard line. But another flag on the play.
That was a little bit better execution on that swing pass where it wasn't quite as obvious that it was a backward lateral, but looks like it's coming back for a hold on the edge. So, yeah, I don't say this sort of thing very often, but you may want to scrap that play.
Yeah, not a lot of positives have happened when they call that play. There was the fumble early on in the game, and that time KJ took some time to secure the football as he juggled it a few times. And then the hold on the outside edge on the right side of the field.
29-6 is the score. The flag is going to be marked off.
Penalties continue to pile up for the Saints.
Penalty on the spot. Ball will be placed at 26. Still 5.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
So that's going to make it a 1st and 25 at the 26-yard line. Springer takes a snap and handoff to KJ Tittman. Quick reverse of field around the left side. He's got the edge. And another flag on the hold there. Boy, this is I don't want to say anything negative about the officials, Corey, but it seems a bit excessive.
The 14th penalty called on the Saints tonight.
It's one thing if the Saints are indeed guilty of committing the infraction each time, but I have a hard time feeling that the receivers are committing the same mistake over and over and over.
When I was the offensive coordinator here many years ago, we used to run sprints at the end of practice on Monday for every offensive penalty. At this rate, we'd have had to turn the lights on.
Well, the sideline players, no doubt not looking forward to the next practice. It'll be a 1st and 30 for Springer, and he's unable to handle the snap. Now picks it up, trying to get rid of it, fires it over to O'Keefe, and he does step out of bounds before he's able to turn that one upfield.
It was an entertaining 5-yard play, I'll say that for it. Evan couldn't get the handle on that thing, and then finally did and found O'Keefe over in the flat. But a lot going on there.
So the Saints gain 6 yards on the play. Now a 2nd and 24 awaiting them. I believe 2nd and Churubusco. I think that's the line.
Yeah.
Shout out to Phil Hauk,
Yeah.
my former color guy with CYO. That was one of his favorite sayings. This time swing pass to KJ Tittman. He just puts his head down. Rough running for KJ as he takes it down to the 23.
Good job by the Legends defense, though. They are bending but not breaking at this point, knowing that the Saints have a long way to achieve a first down.
You just see there, though, the display of versatility and variety that the Saints boast out of the backfield with guys like Teddy Steele, who's going to burn you, Aziz Dixon, kind of shifty, and KJ Tittman, who's not only looking for the contact, he's initiating it on the defense.
No, that's well said about KJ. There's no doubt. He's that running back that'll turn into you rather than run away.
So 3rd and 20 and a flag. This
delay
one,
of game, it appears. My goodness, 15th penalty for the Saints tonight.
You know, the game program has all-time Bishop Dwenger records. I doubt that they have that record in their record book.
I'd be hard-pressed to believe that they would publish that one, but
Right.
You never know.
Not seeing it there. It was worth a check, right?
Yeah.
3rd and 25 for the Saints. Trips to the far side of the field. Sioka down here and a flag.
A 16th penalty.
Folks, still 4 minutes left in the third quarter and 16 penalties on Bishop Dwenger.
Well, that's not to mention 7 on North Side. We are 23 penalties into this game.
Well, we are back to a 3rd and 30. We started with 1st and 30. Now here we are back at the 34-yard line. Springer and another flag. The Dwenger faithful growing restless for obvious reason.
They're calling a legal procedure once again on the Saints. Penalty number 17.
And the Dwenger fans expressing their disgust.
Well, quite frankly, you know, we can be as disgusted as we want to be, but they're clearly jumping off sides. There's movement up front. these are things that need to be cleaned up.
Right. Yeah, you can question some of maybe the holds or things like that, but procedure penalties are pretty straight cut. And this time, miscommunication. Springer and Sioka not on the same page. Looked like Springer was expecting maybe a back shoulder curl comeback route for Sioka, but that was not the case.
They are sort of in with the ball at the 37-yard line, you're kind of in a position where a punt doesn't really do much for you.
Kind of a Hail Mary.
Yeah, so I think that they'll run an offensive play here. They're, being up 29-6 helps that decision as well.
Sure. Of course, we've also seen what the Saints defense can do when pinning the opposing offense inside the 2-yard line. Springer is going to drop back to pass on this one. Got some pressure, rolls to his right, just does get rid of the football, chucks it out of bounds. And that is how that series will finally come to an end.
I'll tell you what, credit the Northside Legend defense, though. There's still a lot of fight in that group down there. I see them celebrating, coming off the field, turnover on downs, and there's no give up in that bunch.
Well, there's no doubt. Early in the season, I mean, we talk about the Northside squad and the gauntlet they have to go through to open the season, facing Snyder, Dwanger, and Carroll in weeks 1 through 3.
Mercy.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So I think there's an element of just trying to build up the program, trying to build up the offense in those first 3 weeks. You know that it's not necessarily going to show in the win-loss column. But if you can get your offense under your feet there in those first 3 weeks, you've got a chance to kind of make some noise down the later stretch of the season.
Speaking of Carroll and Snyder, I've got the Carroll Chargers up 23-21 at the end of 3.
Okay. First down pass, pitch and catch, caught at the midfield stripe. Jordan Turner hauling that one in. They'll move the chains, 3:53 to go in this third quarter. And that's really an interesting score with Carroll and Snyder. Keep in mind, Bishop Luers beat Carroll in week 1. Now, I know you can't always play the if A equals B, then B equals C game, but how about the Knights and their chances in the SAC race this year?
Yeah, you know, with the plethora of weapons that they have on the south side of town, I think the key for a team the size of Luers is staying healthy throughout a whole SAC season. But if they can stay relatively healthy, there's no reason they can't be in the conversation to win this conference. Yeah. They have the weapons to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and Luers has some size up front, but like you said, not a lot behind it. So we'll see how that plays out over the course of a 9-game regular season. Second down run here. It looks like it's good for a first down as the Legends move the chains.
You know, and we really kind of, I hate to say that we've forgotten about the two-time defending SAC champion Homestead Spartans, who are putting it on Concordia tonight, but they appear to have reloaded. We have not mentioned them whatsoever in our discussions of the best teams in the conference, but we may want to start including them.
Well, that's what happened last year. They flew under the radar. Yeah. They lost to Northrop week 1. They had some guys out, and a lot of people around the SAC wrote them off, or at least wrote off their chances at an SAC title. And this time the run goes for a gain of about 4 yards. But you're absolutely right. Homestead has been impressive these first 2 weeks of the season, and they are quietly lurking. As some of these other heavyweights, and you have the Snyders and the Carrolls kind of beat each other up early on. Homestead's kind of sitting back licking their chops.
Well, they were up more than 30 points at halftime against Concordia tonight. So now I don't think Concordia is probably in the top half of this conference this year with all that they lost from a year ago. Right. But nonetheless, Homestead appears to be just fine.
Second down run, and driven backwards is the running back on that play.
That's number 22 for the Northside Legends. That appears to be
Dominic Malone.
Dominic Malone. All right. New back on the scene.
5'10" sophomore getting the carry. No gain on the play. We're ticking down to 1 minute to go in the third quarter here, 29-6. Again, we have the running clock rule that goes into effect with a 35-point lead. Saints are still 2 scores away from that. This time Woods zings it out into the flats. Nice move, makes a man miss inside the 20-yard line, 15, and almost down to the 10-yard lines. Taking that all the way was Demarion Jones, the junior wide receiver.
Really nice play from a young man we haven't called the name of this evening. So good job by the Legends trying to mount a little bit of a drive here against this Saints defense. They've nearly equaled their yardage total of the first half on this drive.
Aided by a couple Dwenger penalties, but nonetheless, the Legends are moving the chains. They now are set up with a 1st and 10 at the Saints' 13-yard line. 35 seconds to go in the third quarter. Woods will take the snap, roll to his right. He's going to keep this one himself and actually make some forward momentum down inside the 10 to about the 9.5-yard line.
Really patient run on his part. Just kind of bought some time until maybe a hole opened up and snuck through there for about 4.
And the Legends will be content to let that clock tick down to reach the end of the third quarter. So your score after 3, Bishop Dwenger leading the Legends 29-6 here at Shields Field. We'll step aside. You are watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Can First Source help me get more space?
We can help with that.
Does First Source have banking that can keep up with me?
This is open around the clock.
Business is booming. Can you help me expand?
No problem.
Can First Source help me turn this into my own business?
We're here for you. No matter what kind of banking you need, First Source Bank can help.
Back at Shields Field, and Corey is pumping his fist, so it must mean he has an Eastside update for us.
Final score in Butler, Eastside 21, Adams Central 19.
Wow.
So the Blazers escape with a win in Butler tonight against the third-ranked team in 1A.
Heck of a ball game.
Yeah, it's a good ball game. Good
Yeah.
ball game for both teams, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Non-conference game. Both teams think they have a chance to do some damage in the postseason, and so a good measuring stick game for both teams.
Yeah, all signs point to a collision course for Bishop Lures and Eastside in that sectional.
Yep, and quite honestly, we talked about it last week. Lures had a tough time stopping that Eastside running game a year ago.
Yeah. What was that, a 56-49 final score?
I think it was, yeah. And, probably one of the most difficult, certainly the most difficult game that Lures had in the playoffs but prior to getting to Lucas Oil Stadium.
If they do meet up in the sectional, it would incredibly be the third postseason meeting between the quarterbacks Carson Clark and Laban Davis. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't. That is something. Both as sophomores met 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
You don't often see 3 quarterbacks meet in conference, let alone in the tournament.
That's well said.
Woods sings this one out to Turner on the near sideline and steps inside of the 6-yard line.
Nice job by Colin Vance coming in there. Looked like 43 for the Saints from the corner spot is Ben Jackway, who kind of blew it up, and then Vance came in and cleaned it up. And nice job out there on the edge by a corner in Jackway, who hasn't seen much playing time.
It's going to be 3rd and 3 from the 6-yard line.
But
Legends need the 3-yard line for a first down.
We're in 4-down territory for sure at this point. So
down 23 with 11 minutes left in the ball game. Here's Woods, hands it off to Lambert, cuts his way outside, and he's going to walk into the end zone for 6 points for the Legends.
Really nice shifty run on that inside zone from Jonte Lambert shows us why he had more than 100 yards a week ago against Snyder.
So they'll switch personnel here. Looks like they will be kicking this one. Trying to do the math, Corey, on the fly. If they kick the extra point, they'll be down 16. It'll technically be a 2-score game.
There you go.
And they'll save the 2-point conversion attempts for later if they get to that point. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. So with 11-12 left in regulation, 29-13 is your score. Saints on top of the Legends here at Shields Field. We'll step aside. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Hi, sports fans. Sean McBride here, inviting you to try the Barbershop experience. St. Joe Center Barbershop, located at the corner of St. Joe Center and Maplecrest, prides itself on professionalism, cleanliness, and a family-friendly atmosphere. In their third generation of family ownership, they have a combined experience of over 125 years. Give them a call at 485-6981. It's my barbershop of choice. That's St. Joe Center Barbershop at 485-6981.
Welcome back, folks. 29-13 is your score. These two teams, again, they met in week 2 last year, and that final score was 27-14. Pretty similar score here.
Last scoring update we had from Snyder was Carroll up 29-28, very late in that one.
Okay.
Inside of a couple minutes, I believe.
Carroll likes playing them tight, huh? So they'll kick this one away. It looks like starters are still in the game for Bishop Dwenger, as the Legends have cut this to a 2-possession game. You know, if you're the coaching staff on the far side of the field, you're thinking, hey, if we can get a quick turnover, we can make some noise here. It's an onside kick attempt, and it is kicked beautifully. It looks like the kicker was able to recover it.
I'm thinking they're saying he touched it before he got 10.
I don't know. I think the ball got across the midfield stripe before he fell on it. It looked like it.
This official on this sideline is standing inside of 10 yards. What's he going to call? Illegal touching.
Okay.
Illegal touching inside of 10, and
boy,
they're giving
if it
to
was,
the
that was
Saints.
close.
Man, it was a well executed play. Touched it just a hair early.
Yeah. Wow. Caden Libby Callahan.
That was a really nice idea.
Yeah.
Didn't get the complete execution. We're a yard shy, but well done.
Wait a second. They're saying he touched it before the 10 yards.
So I formation for the Saints.
I don't know about that.
Springer under center. Hands it off to Aziz Dixon. And he is going to use his jets to get all the way down to the 41-yard line. Pickup of 8 yards on first down. Boy, that was, well, you said it, Corey. That was well executed and so close to being an outstanding onside kick recovery. And then you're looking at a whole new ball game.
Oh, no question.
You got the ball with just under 11 minutes to go, down 2 scores.
Got a halftime score from Lures. They were up 26-8 on Wayne at halftime, so they're firmly in control there.
Yep. Here's Springer, hands off to Dixon. Nice hole through the middle as Dixon follows his blockers all the way down to the 25-yard line.
My goodness, great run by Aziz Dixon. He looks like he's got fresh legs in there. Got a final from Concordia Homestead. Homestead 59, Concordia 14.
Wow.
So they would prefer not to be left out of the SAC conversation.
That's right. Another power eye as Springer lines up under center. Clock now ticked down under 10 minutes to go. Saints on top 2 scores, and they are trying to get this snap away. They just do, and hand off to KJ Tittman through the middle.
I'm not
Not
sure
much.
about that play either, to be honest with you. You got the fullback up real tight to the line of scrimmage, right behind the lineman, and we go under center with the quarterback and just hand off to him without any sort of lead blocker except for the offensive line. They're just running straight zone blocking. I'm just not sure on the design there.
Going to be a 2nd and 9. Springer under center. This time will just get the handoff to Aziz Dixon, makes a man miss, and then pile drives a defender down to the 20-yard line.
Another good run by Dixon. I really like what he brings. Change of pace. Like to see him work him in a little more often earlier in the game. He's a nice, just another different look between KJ and Teddy Steele and now Aziz.
Yeah. 3rd and 5 now for the Saints. Ball on the 20-yard line of the Legends. Springer now in the shotgun. Takes a snap, pitch to Dixon, cuts inside, and will try to wrestle his way close to that first down marker. Looks like he's a yard short at the 16-yard line.
Got a final out at Snyder Carroll over the Snyder Panthers tonight. Wow. So you want to talk about shaking up the SAC a little bit. Both of those teams now 1-1 on the season.
And undefeated Falls.
And glad I took the mulligan on that.
Yeah. Springer on a 4th and 1 quarterback sneak picks up easily 5 yards.
Really nicely done. A little quarterback sneak there. Yeah, last week I made Snyder out to be the best team since since the Russ Isaacs days, and they did not play very well. Quite frankly, were not the best team on the field a week ago against Northside.
Could easily be 0-2.
And now lose to Carroll tonight.
Springer hands it off to Dixon, following his blockers inside the 5, spins his way down to about the 3.
I like how that young man runs the football.
Yeah.
I would really like to see them get him a little more involved offensively. I think they probably have hesitated to do that because of all the downs he's playing on defense, rushing the passer. But they don't have KJ Tittman on defense, and they don't have Teddy Steele on defense. So, they're doing a good job of trying to sort of spread the playing time around and keep everybody fresh.
Yep. 2nd and goal, and Dixon is in the end zone.
First contact was in the backfield, and he had a little spin move to him and stuck it in the end zone. I really like what I see from 27, Aziz Dixon.
So Dixon puts the Saints on top 35-13. And he carried Bishop Dwenger down the field on that possession. The feature back and using those fresh legs to convert several first downs and then converts in the end zone. Joe Belanda puts this one up and boots it through.
My eyes aren't very good, but is Joe wearing pink shoes?
It's a great question. It would appear so.
Kickers. Oh, that was not Belanda. Okay, good call, Coach Kevin Thompson. That was number 97. Is that Ward? That's Ryan Ward. No. Yeah, Ryan Ward. All right. Well, I'll take that back, Joe Belanda. My apologies.
Well, your comment to kicker still applies, though,
yeah,
right?
it does. That's true. Pink-shoed kickers.
That's personality right there. That's what that is.
It is. That's how can appreciate that, I guess, to
Yeah.
a certain extent.
You only get a limited number of plays on the field. You want people to remember you, right?
Yeah, yeah. He got his name called. I wouldn't have even known it was him.
36-13, 6:38 to go in the ball game. So as Snyder falls, your list of undefeated teams in the SAC, I believe, is down to 4. You've got Bishop Dwenger looking to move to 2-0. Bishop Luers on its way to 2-0. You've got Homestead with a strong 2-0. And who are we missing? Maybe that's it.
I think
that's
that's
it because Concordia was 1-0 and they lost.
Yep, I think that's it. So 3 teams now.
Yep.
Still, after 2 weeks in and only 3 teams undefeated.
Yeah. Here's the kickoff. High kick fielded at the 9-yard line. All the way across the field and hit hard at about the, looks like the 16-yard line.
Malone on the carry or on the reception of the kickoff. And then you've got 45, Christian Lozado, sophomore, on the kickoff team for the Saints, was the one that put the lick on.
Yep. Looks like the Saints starters are still on the defense. A little surprised to see that. See if they can get some of those guys some rest.
Yeah, I got to believe that we'll start to see some wholesale substitutions here shortly.
That was a bit of a surprising score there. The PA announcer just announced Luers on top 27-20.
Huh.
So Wayne has gotten back in that ball game.
I think I heard that Southside is going to beat Northrop as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there it is, 20-14, Southside.
Good for the Southside Archers.
Yeah. How about that? They got a new coach, had their quarterback transfer to Northrop, and all signs pointed to yet another down year.
That's a painful loss for that kid. He went from Southside to Northrop and still lost that game. Ouch.
Ouch indeed. Timeout on the field. That gives us a chance to thank our final sponsor of the night. Tippmann Properties is a proud supporter of the Saints and is currently leasing in multiple locations throughout Fort Wayne, including the historic Lincoln Tower. For details regarding available space, call Larry at 260-469-5447.
Have you ever been in the Lincoln Tower?
I have not.
Really cool building. Old building, but really cool. A lot of history.
First down, looks like the ball is loose. Looking for a symbol. Looks like the Saints recovered.
Oh, my goodness.
How about that?
I think we're going to send in a second string offensive unit here for the Saints, it appears. Good to see that.
Sounded like Luke Shuckle's name being announced over the PA. Of course, he came up with the what was it, the block punt?
Luke Shuckle's got a nose for the football.
Yeah. How about that? So now we see Bodie Dickerson coming in at quarterback for the Saints. Evan Springer's night is done. And looks like a lot of different substitutions in there for the Saints. 6:27 to go in the ball game. A 1st and 10. And a patient run that time. Corbin Till on the carry for the Saints.
Corbin gets his first carry of the evening. He ran a long way to pick up a yard.
He did. So as we tick down halfway through the fourth quarter, the Saints, again, next week, they're going to be on the road at the Southside Archers. How about that? So Southside coming off that, looks like they're headed towards a big win against Northrop as Till takes this one for about a 2-yard gain. And they're going to be riding a high with Dwenger coming to town.
Doesn't happen very often.
No.
Where both teams come into that game off of a win. Good for them.
Yeah.
You know, that's a program that really since Matt Land was there has struggled, and would love to see them become competitive again down there on the south side of town.
Yep. That'll be our first time broadcasting from the Southside Stadium on South Calhoun in quite some time, as Bodie Dickerson picks up the ball off the turf, tosses it a little bit over the head of the intended receiver. Might have been a touchdown otherwise.
Yeah, I think it was intended for 89, which is Max Robinson. Excuse me, Max I think is 88 actually. 89 is Justin Lay, and just a little over the head of Justin. Now, Justin is 5'9", so we got to bring that into the equation.
Do we have to? He'd like to beg to differ on that one.
A little taller receiver may have been able to get that.
That brings up a 4th and 8. Belanda in to try to boot this one through. Going to be a 32-yard attempt. Nice air on that one for Belanda and a perfect kick.
I'll tell you what, that is a great hold by Bodie Dickerson.
No doubt.
Was it Bodie?
Yep.
Or was it? Yeah, it was. It was Bodie. Outstanding job, because that was not a great snap. And kind of came back on the ground there, and Bodie was able to get that thing on the tee, and really nicely done.
We'll take a quick break. You're listening and watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions. Back at Shields Field, Bishop Dwenger has just gone up 39-13 here in the fourth quarter. 5 minutes left to go on the clock. And it's worth a look around 5A, Corey, as we look. I know we're only 1 week into the season, but did you see what Cathedral did in week 1? They beat 6A Westfield 14-0.
Yes.
Shut out a Westfield team that was the state runner-up in 6A.
I was actually more surprised by a loss than I was a win. I was surprised to see New Palestine lose a regular season game, which hadn't happened since when?
Well, they lost one last year, but
that's right.
I've got this number for you, Corey, as you might expect.
Hit me.
Last week, that was only their second regular season loss in the last 72 games.
Isn't that something? Yeah. Kyle Ralph is the head coach at New Palestine and has just done an absolutely phenomenal job. I keep waiting for a college or somebody to come in there and offer Kyle Ralph a head coaching job at the next level, because he has just done some incredible stuff there at New Pal.
Well, you know, when your number of losses as a head coach is
single digits after
it's fewer than the number of years you've been a head coach.
Yes, how about it?
That's a pretty good trend to have.
It's just amazing what he has done.
Just churning out undefeated regular seasons, and many of which, I think maybe 4 state titles in that stretch.
Yep, absolutely.
This kick fielded at the 21-yard line, and
that's Turner. Nice return past the 40.
Yep. So Cathedral flexing its muscles, again, shutting out a Westfield team. Now remember, that was the same Westfield team that dominated Homestead in the regional round 42-9.
A year ago.
A year ago, and Cathedral just shut them out in week 1. So Cathedral holding a very firm grasp on the #1 spot in 5A. Zionsville, #2. They beat Pike in week 1. Bishop Dwenger remains at the #3 spot after week 1. And all Valparaiso and Whiteland did at 4 and 5 are beat up on Penn and Columbus East.
And Valpo beat, what was the Valpo Penn score?
35-7.
Oh my goodness.
Now Penn is coming off of a down year, so I don't know how formidable they are in that range. Big throw down the field for Rodney Woods this time, hit as he throws, and the ball incomplete.
That's as the quarterback Woods gets more reps. I think that he'll see that quicker. I mean, he had receiver was at 6, number 6 open over the middle. It appeared Jones maybe. Anyway. He had him open early and waited an awful long time to release that football. I think as he gets more reps at the quarterback position, hopefully they don't need him to. Hopefully Brashawn Bassett is back next week.
Right.
But if they do, he'll get better at that as time wears on.
Handoff straight through the middle. Big pickup there, about 11 yards.
Jonte Lambert is
and slow to get up.
Yeah.
Actually not getting up. Now he finally is. He's favoring his left leg as he
taking
hobbles
a
off
lot
the
of
field.
hits tonight.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but when you have to play Snyder and Dwenger back-to-back weeks, the physicality that you have to deal with in playing those two programs will leave its mark on you.
You got that right. By the way, mentioning 5A, we mentioned that New Pal lost. We should give some credit to the team that beat them. That was Decatur Central, 31-29. Decatur Central up to number 6 in 5A. Woods sees a hole through the middle of the field and able to get down to the 41-yard line, pickup of 8 yards.
Good job by that Dwenger JV defensive unit on the gang tackle at the end, though.
Yeah. Down inside, 4 minutes to go.
Some of these Northside legends, particularly the kids that have played both ways, have just got to be exhausted at this point.
Yeah. Again, 39-13 is your score with 3.5 minutes to go in this ball game. Woods takes the snap, hands it on the jet sweep. Looks like it is just enough for first down yardage that time. Michael Dye, the junior wide receiver.
Got a score for you in the Cherubusco-Lakeland game. And the reason this is interesting to me is that Cherubusco is able to beat Lakeland 21-20, and they, because of injuries and contact tracing, quarantines, etc., COVID, Cherubusco dressed 23 players tonight.
Wow.
They won a football game with 23 players. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, a high school varsity football game, nonetheless. Yeah, that's something that we heard Bobby Cox bring up on the halftime interview. This environment that we're in, there's no end in sight. And we continue to see players missing from teams. We saw, I think, East Noble, they had to cancel their game entirely.
They canceled all extracurricular activity for a week up there. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I really had hoped that after last season that we wouldn't have to deal with these sorts of things a year later, but it appears it's here to stay, and we just got to react to it.
It's going to be 3rd and 7 as the clock ticks down to 2:45 to go in the ball game. Rodney Woods trying to direct this offense into the end zone. They've scored once on offense, once on defense. Swing pass, good for first down before a big stick on the far sideline.
Yeah, good stick by the Saints there. Ben Jackway out there at the corner spot did a nice job of making a tackle. Now it was after a first down, but nonetheless, good job on his part. We're really getting down into the depths of the of the roster now, Eric. We got
Yep.
guys in there with even different jerseys on.
You can tell the difference between the varsity jerseys with the gold numerals and white trim and the JVs that are just all white numerals. Woods making moves this time, making people miss. He's going to go down to the 30-yard line, bring up a 2nd and short. So great to see the turnout tonight by the Dwenger faithful here in the Saints home opener. We had a virtual full stands on the home side, and the fans are still out in attendance even with this game well in hand. Just excited to be back at a football game, I'm sure.
No doubt about it. Shields Field atmosphere was electric tonight for sure.
Here's a 2nd down play. Swing pass goes over the head of Dye. Looks like a backwards pass, so Dye has to go and cover it up at the 42.
Well, it's only fair that Northside throws a backward swing pass against the Saints.
Yeah.
Seems to be a favorite play of both squads.
Inside a minute to go in the ball game now. Legends becoming the first team to play at Shields Field 3 times, and they're going to fall to 0-3 in those contests. Northrop, the only other team to play here more than once. Of course, it was Northside here 2 years ago at week 2 in the 2019 season that helped the Saints christen Shields Field with a 36-0 victory. Woods on the wide rollout, tosses it down the sideline, hoping the receiver can make a play. Good coverage there down at the 10-yard line. Incomplete pass with 26 seconds left on the clock.
The only teams to have beaten the Saints at Shields Field are?
Only one team.
Only one team.
And that's Homestead. And that was 2019. So the Saints are actually going to move to 12-1 at Shields Field tonight. And it was their 2nd game. We mentioned the home opener in 2019 against Northside. That was the first game. Game 2 at Shields Field was the 17-15 loss to Homestead. And ever since then, it has been all in the win column. Woods is going to spin down the 37-yard line. Clock stops with 19 seconds left.
As they turn it over on downs.
Yep. One knee left to be had here. And, of course, the Saints' next home game is going to be, guess who? The same Homestead Spartans in week 4. The only team that they've lost to, the only team that has a win here at Shields Field, they're going to come and try to make it 2-0. And a good chance that we could be looking at a battle of 2 undefeated 3-0 teams. But, of course, there's games left to be played next week in week 3.
Exactly.
Looks like final play for the Saints. Bodie Dickerson going to pitch back. And a running play up to the 45-yard line. Pick up there for Owen Zimmerman. And that is going to take us down to the end of the ball game. So your final score from Shields Field, Bishop Dwenger 39, Northside 13. The Saints move to 2-0 on the season, and the Legends fall to 0-2. We're going to take one final break, be back to wrap things up here from Shields Field. You're watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Can First Source help me get more space?
We can help with that.
Does First Source have banking that can keep up with me?
This is open around the clock.
Business is booming. Can you help me expand?
No problem.
Can First Source help me turn this into my own business?
We're here for you. No matter what kind of banking you need, First Source Bank can help.
Evans Toyota is locally owned and proudly supports Bishop Dwenger. Let's go Saints!
St. Anne Communities is a senior living community including a rehabilitation center, memory and dementia care, assisted and residential living, as well as a nursing facility that served the community for over 54 years. While offering a Christ-centered environment that is the only place in Fort Wayne that offers daily mass and sacraments. For more information on employment, senior living, or to make a gift to support the first floor renovation campaign, please visit us at our website or give us a call.
Final handshakes at center field between the Bishop Dwenger Saints and the Northside Legends as we wrap things up. 39-13, the Saints victorious here at Shields Field. They move to 2-0 on the season. They move to 12-1 at their new football stadium. So, Corey, I think as the fans file out, they might be talking about the penalties tonight, and we know the Bishop Dwenger coaching staff is going to be talking about the penalties. And clearly there are still some things for the Saints to fine-tune and fix, but what were some positives we took away from tonight on the Bishop Dwenger side of the football field?
Oh, defense. First and foremost, the defense pinned their ears back, came after Northside, and continued their level of play that they've had for 3 or 4 years now, quite honestly. I mean, that 3-4 defense continues to yield great benefits no matter who they plug in to the positions on the defensive unit. So, kudos to the defense. Outstanding job. I think a huge kudos to the special teams. You mentioned it. That Henry O'Keefe kickoff return changed the game, quite frankly. Right after Northside had taken a lead for the first time, the first deficit the Saints had seen all season, and it took one play for the Saints to regain the momentum, so to speak, with a 98-yard kickoff return. So, those were the bright spots to me. They were able to run the football when they needed to. I thought the passing game really struggled tonight, and obviously the penalties. When you have, I believe the Saints had 18 penalties, and so and 8 for Northside as well. 26 penalties is the reason we're still broadcasting at 10 p.m. But nonetheless.
Wow. Yep, that's certainly going to be a lasting image from this game. But as you mentioned, the defense just making a name for itself, and I'm going to have to bring up the streak, Corey, because it continues. Dwenger moves to 32-1 under head coach Jason Garrett when they're allowing 14 or fewer points. And they did that tonight by holding the Legends to 13. And also keep in mind that the Legend defense scored one of those touchdowns. So through 2 games, I know the scoreboard says that the Saints have allowed 40 points, but the starting defense only given up 2 touchdowns.
Yes, well said.
So Bishop Dwenger moves, as we said, to 2-0 on the season. They're going to be taking on the Southside Archers next Friday night, and that's going to be over on South Calhoun Street. We'll be bringing that game to you right here on BD Media Productions. Kickoff set for 7 p.m., airtime at 6:50. And, of course, Southside, it looked like they were on their way to a win tonight. So that'll be fun to look at as well as Southside comes into the game with some momentum. So let's go ahead and turn it over to Kevin Thompson for a final look at stats. Kevin?
Yeah, so the 39-13 score, interesting thing, Dwenger had 50 total plays for 204 yards. Northside had 51 plays for 127. So even on the plays, but lopsided in the yards. Springer was 6 of 19 for 79 yards. Teddy Steele and KJ Tippmann carried a load of rushing. Both of them had 10 carries. Teddy had 57 yards and KJ had 56. So tight there on the team competition. And then on Northside side, Woods was 8 of 13 for 41 yards at 18 yards rushing, and Lambert was 18 carries for 45 yards. Like you said, Dwenger had 18 penalties for 165 yards of penalties, and Northside 8 penalties for 65 yards. So that's it.
Well, my big takeaway, Corey, first 2 weeks of the season, I know these are not the most formidable opponents in the SAC, but to hold Sean Collins of Wayne and Jonte Lambert of Northside to a combined 75 yards is quite an accomplishment.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And job one of the Dwenger defense is and has always been stop the run first. And they're doing that right now with flying colors.
Okay, so Saints are going to walk out of here with a 39-13 victory, and we are going to sign off as well. That's going to do it for us. So a big thanks to Greg Jones for getting us online streaming. He ran the show tonight on camera. We had a host of Bishop Dwenger students helping us out tonight. Logan Miltner, Anthony Segedy, Mara Zedekeo, Karen Garcia, and Isaac Harris all helping with the camera work tonight. Also special thanks to Parker Knoll helping us out with some technical issues as well. Our statistician tonight was Kevin Thompson. For Corey Kitchen, I'm Eric Pete, thanking you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. May God bless you. You're watching Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions.